listen wherever you go.
Oiler Insider and Jersey Aficionado.
The 2-2. Welcome to Louis. The Yankees lead.
60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream.
And goal from the Rider 5. Edmonton looking to answer back. T.J. Luther. And the double E.
It's all gas, no brakes.
This group with the Blue Jays, always special to us, guys.
Kirk with a drive, and that ball is out of here. First pitch slamming for Alejandro Kirk. It's his 4th home run of the season, and the Blue Jays strike first.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Happy Wednesday. Good morning. Welcome to the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Tom, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in studio, ready to rock on another day. Hope you're doing great out there. Really, really want to put out the positive vibes, manifest them, all that good stuff. Bet365, presenting sponsor of this show. Like I mentioned, Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365 is available in Alberta. It's here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Get into the conversation. Text us 1-833-401-1440. You can also dip into the chat over on YouTube if you're watching over there. We appreciate that as well. Lots to get to today. We have a lot of fantastic guests as always. Milt Stiegel will be joining us. Speck will be here at 8 a.m. Nick Farbaugh from Penn Live to talk about the Steelers. He tweets a lot about the Steelers. I was going through his timeline yesterday and a YouTube video as well. Very thorough on the reporting when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Dave Schlemko, he's on the shelf. He's on the shelf, Brando. Damn.
He is ill, unfortunately. He did. He texted me at about 6:30 this morning, letting me know that woke up empty in the guts, calling some dinosaurs, as they say. A little illness running through the Schlemko household, and he is the latest to pick up whatever bug is weaseling its way around.
That calls for one thing.
No Schlemmer today, unfortunately, but we will anticipate his return next week.
Join me if you know it. Get well soon. We want you to get well.
Well done.
Thank you. We'll have Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News. We'll discuss the Sabres, a little bit of baseball with Mike, and then Scott Wheeler from The Athletic, lots of draft prospects and all that good stuff. I know the showcase, the World Junior Showcase, he was at, and then, of course, we've got the Hlinka Gretzky going on right now. I'm guilty, boys, full disclosure, of paying zero attention to the showcase and the Hlinka Gretzky, unfortunately. I'm hockeyed out. Give me a month, let me recharge for the Oilers, and then we'll be good to go. And if people are out there going, oh, how dare you? I apologize. It is midsummer. I'm not worried about some prospect that's going to be drafted in 2027 or 2028 right now. Just not yet. No backup on that? That's fine. Whatever. You guys leave me.
You have my support on that, because the only real guilt about not paying as much attention to it is that it's here in Edmonton. That's where it's like,
literally across the street.
You can say dip across the street, go in. It's a nice, cool environment at the DCA and watch some puck. I've said it several times. Like, I went to a few games, not last year, the one previous. Last one was in Edmonton, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I watched like Matthew Schaefer, Caleb Desnoyers, like all the guys that went in that draft. And it's really cool. Like it's at the start of their draft year. There's still sort of unknowns unless you get a guy like Landon Dupont, who of course is highly projected. He's ripping it up so far in the first couple of games for Team Canada. So outside of that, it's largely unknowns, and you get a chance to see some of these guys with your own eyes rather than just highlight tapes across TSN or Sportsnet or Twitter. That is a cool element. So I encourage anybody, if you are looking for something to do in the evenings or afternoons, the game started like 1 o'clock while it's here. I encourage you to do it, but I'm kind of with you, Tom, where sometimes you do gotta, bide your time a little bit, if you know what I mean. Where, especially someone like you that's fully vested at practice every day, at every game, all that stuff in the room, like with the hockey during the Oilers season, the summer's break from that. You can instead just, chill at home, watch a baseball game on TV, catch a football game here with the NFL Hall of Fame getting underway tomorrow.
Cardinals.
Your boy Carson Beck under center.
Yeah. Listen, I'm excited for Carson Beck, but I'm not putting the weight of the world on him like some people.
Nope. That's your document is one of the very first things I asked you when you started and told us you're a Cardinals fan. I say, what's your read on Carson Beck? And you say, I believe in him.
I do, but I also believed in Josh Rosen, and that blew up so bad.
Yeah.
They put him into a terrible position because my NFL team of choice that I watch every Sunday or sometimes Thursday or sometimes, very rarely Monday.
Yeah,
obviously, or Sunday night.
Prime timers.
They keep them away from that. Good thing, because they're atrocious and have been for some time. But just let him cook. Let him figure it out. I don't have any hope for the Cardinals this season. I mean, the NFC West is stacked. The Cardinals are a mess. They have some good pieces. I'm truly waiting for Marvin Harrison Jr. to request a trade at some point. Unfortunately.
That is unfortunately.
I just feel like that's the inevitable. The Kyler Murray thing, it started out all right. Then it went sideways. He got his fat contract. He talked about how good he was, how he never lost in high school, and his press conference to announce that contract. I'm like, this guy's in the wrong headspace. Streaming his video games. Not that I have a problem with that, but that's not a priority. It's not a priority. Anyway, enough about the Cardinals. We'll also discuss one thing. Spider-Man, without spoilers. I think we can take 5 minutes at the beginning of the show to discuss, because Fenny went and saw it. You went and saw it, Brando. I went and saw it yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I kick-started this with the announcement yesterday morning before the show got going that I said I was going to head out in the afternoon, a little midday showing right here at the mall that has it all.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, well, I have to go see it now. And Josh didn't want to be excluded. So we all went and saw it. None of us saw it at the same time.
No.
Josh and I believe at least saw it at the same place.
Yes.
Assumably. Yeah. And now we're all the wiser for it. We've taken it in.
I'll start this out.
Sure, knock yourself out, Tommy.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, we're not, this is no spoilers. Let's do this as delicately as possible. I appreciate where they've taken Peter Parker and Spider-Man and how he's had to earn it. But you guys pointed out some pretty big things that I overlooked because I was just happy to watch a new Spider-Man movie.
As is everybody else in the world, Tom. I mean, this movie's going to make like $2.2 billion or
That's
something. It made $900 million worldwide in its first weekend. No, it was fun. It was a good Spider-Man movie. A lot of the time, there was certain times where I was like, well, this doesn't work. But as seen in the trailer, John Bernthal's Punisher is in this. He's hilarious. I think his character when just going to help out Peter at times is really funny. I love John Bernthal, the actor, and man, he has some really funny reads. It's just he's just a normal dude with a gun, and they're fighting this or that or the other thing. It's like, wait, you just want to do that so you don't have to? Yeah. All right, yeah. There was definitely going back to when this movie was made. First of all, it was pushed back because Tom Holland was made in the Odyssey. They started shooting on the same day, and they pushed the whole movie back to after, which gave them time to rewrite the script not once but twice, because the first one was much like all the other Marvel movies nowadays, which was very multiverse heavy. He was like, guys, we're not doing that.
I like that he's got his hands in this.
He
now.
runs Sony, okay? Like,
for him.
like
Good for him.
let's be clear. He runs Sony. If they weren't like they have the PlayStation, but that's it. Like Sony's got the PlayStation and they've got Tom Holland as Spider-Man. The PlayStation is an inanimate object.
What about the rest of their inanimate objects? Do they not run a successful line of electronics?
How successful would those be if you didn't have Tom Holland's Spider-Man right on the screen?
Okay.
Well played, Brando.
I understand, Josh.
He runs their film division. How about
Okay,
that?
there we go. Thank you for clarifying.
That I think is very fair. Very fair.
And so, but also Marvel has a helping hand in this. So I think Tom Holland, who fought for the street level Spider-Man, could only get so much of what he wanted because Kevin Feige in his infinite wisdom still needs to continue setting up whatever happens after not Avengers Doomsday, but Avengers Secret Wars. And so I had some issues with the writing, but it was still it was a good time at the movies. You know what I mean? I'll never not have a good time at the movies.
I went to the movie yesterday. I did not have any popcorn or soda. I literally sat there and just raw dogged it for 2.5 hours. I ate lunch right before I went in.
As did I.
So because we were like, if we finish the show, doing my post-show stuff, buzzed down the mall. I was like, well, I'm starving. I haven't eaten since 6 o'clock this morning. Had to just grab some lunch here at the mall. Came back, literally inhaled it, and then went upstairs and watched the movie. So I literally walked past the concession line and thought, do I really need this popcorn as well? I was like, nah, I'll raw dog it.
I also mucked on some lunch beforehand. I didn't get any pop. I did get popcorn. Also, they were out of large popcorn bags.
How does that happen?
And large cups for soda.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm blown away right now. Like they had, that if you go to Cineplex, they have the 4 rows of candy and they have the top 2 rows that go with all the combos and stuff. Gone, all of it.
Really?
Oh yeah. They had to pull out, those Hershey's chocolate covered pretzels with the drizzle and stuff. I don't know if it was this when you were there.
Sounds like it was well, I have no idea. I didn't go to the concession line, but
good point.
Sounds like it was a popular day at the movies. I wonder, Cheap Tuesday, no school, summertime, all these things. Was there a lot of people going in to see The Odyssey, Spider-Man, Minions?
It was definitely Spider-Man. When I was looking for my ticket, I was like, oh my God, there are so many showtimes.
Yes, there were. About 5 different viewing options in the theater.
Yes.
Different 6 times a day. Yeah, all that. So pretty popular film, as one would expect.
Brandon, you're
yeah, I'm kind of in line with Josh. I enjoyed it. I love Spider-Man. The first Tobey Maguire movie made a very large impression on me as a child. So I've loved it since. There were a few things that I didn't love about this particular film. Like I said, don't want to give any spoilers out there for anybody, but overall, I still think it's worth seeing for sure.
Yes.
If you're a Marvel fan or a Spider-Man fan or a superhero fan or just a Tom Holland fan, to be honest, probably. Because he was very good. I liked him. I like him as
I think it was his best Spider-Man.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Where does it rank? I mean, you can't include Captain America Civil War or any of the Avengers.
I think this was probably the second best of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, but I don't think it's way ahead of the first 2. Because the third one with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire back in it
I love that one.
The nostalgia factor, I thought the movie was great. It kind of hit on all the right notes for me.
Yep.
It was a clear number 1 in this franchise.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think Homecoming is my favorite of his.
That might be my second least favorite.
See, everybody says that. I don't understand because everyone's like, oh, we need a street level Spider-Man. Listen, I get it, right? Tony Stark is in it, but whatever. He fights the Vulture and can't go to prom. That's the whole basis of the movie. That is Peter Parker Spider-Man at its finest. He was going to prom, and then it turned out the villain was his date's dad.
It fits the mold. I liked
I loved it. I still think it's very rewatchable. I don't think No Way Home has aged very well. When you go back and rewatch it, I'm like, man, and maybe I'm a little snobby in this.
I think you are a bit of a film snob.
I can get very snobby at times.
You're a cinephile. Is that what they're called? Yeah.
No, I can just get snobby at times.
Self-proclaimed. Him and Donovan both self-proclaimed.
No, hey, you call Donnie and I that all the time. I'll push back on Donnie's every single time.
You don't think Donovan is. You think Donovan's just an opinionated person.
Yes.
which he is.
Which is
He's
great.
a very
All the power to
opinionated
him.
person. But this is also the same guy that liked Fantastic Four First Steps, and that movie sucked.
I tried watching. I fell asleep last week. I'm like, I need to watch this to get ready for whatever this cross mogenation. It sucked.
It's really bad. Pedro
Yeah.
Pascal, love the dude, not good in that movie. He's really bad.
I don't like the people that liked Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm like, what are you guys watching here?
Anyways, that's where I come out on all of this.
One thing I forgot to mention to you guys, and one thing I really liked about this Spider-Man movie was all the references to the video game. You didn't notice those?
Please tell me more.
Which video game?
The Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 on PS4,
okay.
PS5.
Okay, yes.
I
Yeah,
thought-
I would have no idea.
Like some of the way he moved, some of the way he used his webs, some of the attacks were very much derived from the video game and the combinations used.
The only
Spider-Man
Spider-Man video game I've ever played was on the PS1.
Oh no! Oh, I remember I had that game. That was
You'd
great.
swing and you fought Scorpion, who's in this movie.
Yeah.
Which was great. And I don't even think I had the full game. It was maybe just like a trial on like
The demo.
a disc that had like 8 different demos on
Yeah.
it, really. So I just played the one level in the Spider-Man game over and over again.
That game was great, but
Isn't there like the Spider-Man 2 on the DS where like the game starts and it's that Spider-Man meme where like the helicopters are crashing and everything.
Oh,
He's just walking with his head
no,
down.
I just
Apparently that's the beginning of the game.
I just remembered I had one for the Game Boy Advance as well, which was the best level or best part of it was delivering the pizzas like Tobey Maguire does in.
all right.
Pizza time.
Is that Spider-Man 2?
Yep.
The movie when he's the pizza delivery
Yes,
guy.
sir.
Yeah, I guess so. It might be No, I think that's Spider-Man 2.
That is Spider-Man
Great
2.
level. But anyway,
Pizza time.
You're late. Anyway, yeah. So if you played the video game Spider-Man on PlayStation 4 or 5 or Spider-Man 2, like a lot of the attacks and the moves and stuff like that, I was like, oh, that's from even how he swings on the webs. I'm like, that's from the video game. And then I read they took a lot of inspiration from the movements of Spider-Man in those games because it is pretty damn cool. All right, we got that off our chest. That felt so good.
Did you feel relief watching yesterday saying, like, all right, now
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it spoiled. I'm not going to hear anybody else talk about it. Now I can be the spoiler for other people.
I don't want to be the spoiler for
But
other
it just
people.
kind of happens accidentally sometimes.
But did we spoil anything?
I don't think so. We kept
No.
it pretty vague.
Yeah.
The issue is after you see a new movie or a TV show, like I'm watching House of the Dragon every Sunday night, you just want to talk about it with someone afterwards
Mhm.
to just like flesh stuff out. But then it's, a lot of people haven't seen it yet. It's difficult. So this, I think for all three of us serves as at least a mild amount of movie therapy in the way we just watched it yesterday. We got to hash a few very vague topics out,
Correct.
and maybe at commercial breaks, we can dive into it more without providing any spoilers.
Hey, it felt very good. It was fulfilling, this segment. It really was. We're off to a great start. Brad, I'm going to end this segment with this from Brad. He texts in and says, Red Hulk was so bad. I didn't even bother with that Captain America movie. No, thank you. I believe you, Brad, and I'm not going to bother. All right. Coming up next, Milt Stiegel. Settle down, Brian. I see your text. Settle down. We're going to talk about week 9. We'll recap it, and we'll tee up week 10 in the CFL. Trey Ford. Is it over? We'll see. Big game for the Elks, taking on the Alouettes in Montreal. All that and more coming up next, right after this break, here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout for Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. for just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Hi, thanks for calling Uline.
Wait, did the phone even ring?
Nope.
Okay, so you answered before the ring, but now you're going to put me on hold, right?
We don't do that here. We're real people answering the phone, ready to help with your order when you are.
Uline has thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline, we warehouse for you.
Legendary is here with BetMGM Casino. Download now to check out over 4,000 casino games, including exclusive slots like Survivor and hundreds of live dealer games. Unlock Vegas magic and sign up for the BetMGM app. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$7:22 in Edmonton on a Wednesday. It's the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Join the conversation. Text us 1-833-401-1440. Now, before we get to Milt to talk about the upcoming week in the CFL and to recap last week, I love people who are Debbie Downers. It's the middle of summer. The biggest movie of the summer just dropped, and we had a quick discussion on it for 10 minutes, and you got people, sports radio. Yes, we will continue the sports radio part of this. There's more to life than sports. I'm just saying, Brian. Anyway, let's get Milton here from the CFL on TSN. Great to have him in town for what was a tremendous game. Lots of excitement in Commonwealth Stadium last week, and let's bring Milt on. Hello, Milt. How are you? I hope you're feeling better.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. And just about your little discussion you were having with Brian. Brian is correct. There's nothing else in life but sports, and when you realize that, Tom, you'll be a better person for it. But
thank you, Milt.
Continue.
I appreciate that very, very much. Okay, before we dip into week 10, last week was great. I mean, I know there was chaos at Commonwealth, but 2 games on Saturday. And, you know, what caught me was I came over to say hi to you guys, and we were talking, and you guys were talking about Calgary Hamilton. And I know it's a tough season for the Ticats, and the Stampeders are putting together a pretty damn good season themselves, and especially Vernon Adams Jr. But on the flip side, you know, if you're rooting for Canadian quarterbacks, it's a bit of a tough go for Trey Ford. So how would you assess how things have gone in Hamilton and with Trey and the path forward for the Ticats?
Well, I mean, we thought it would be a different outcome for Trey, especially the way he stepped in that first game. He started and he did well. But I guess Scott Milanovich has saw enough of him and said, okay, you're not my guy. You're not getting it done. And it's just time to move on. There's no use of wasting time and allowing you to continue to go out there and not do what you need to do to help this team win. So that's the way Scott works. He's not going to explain much to many. I'm sure Trey knew going in what was going to be the outcome if he didn't play well. I was surprised that it happened when it did. I thought he would at least let him finish out the half, but I guess Scott had said, we've seen enough. And right now it's going to be, Frost starting at quarterback. What happens if he struggles? I mean, Scott may need to get in it. I don't know. But the Tiger Cats, they're in a bad place right now because of their quarterback situation. So it's unfortunate that Trey, we won't see him start right now. But you never know. If Frost struggled, he may have to put him back in there. But as I just alluded to, they're in a bad place right now.
Yeah, definitely. And when you lose a guy like Bo Levi Mitchell, it's a tough one to overcome. Okay, and then on the flip side, Calgary's been humming along nicely. I guess, they're 4-4, Milt, but do they deserve a little bit more respect around the league, or do you think that they get enough praise for what they have done in a good way so far this year?
They get enough praise. As you just mentioned, they're 4-4. It's not like they're they just got to 500. And Vernon's been having a great year. The defense was suspect, but they seem to be getting their stuff together. So we're giving them just enough respect, just as much as they deserve. Let's see what happens, from here on out. First 8 games, 4-4. So we're giving them just a good enough amount of respect. I love what Vernon is doing. He has to be in the MOP conversation. The fact that he's leading the league in touchdowns, and that's not the most impressive thing, but the fact that he hadn't thrown an interception, that's crazy there when you think about all the passes that are thrown in the CFL. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, the last half of the season for these Calgary Stampeders.
All right, let's bring it closer to home with the Elks and the Riders. I thought that was a great game. Obviously, not as exciting offensively as the game in Regina, but still had a lot of great moments in it. And then ultimately, it's the Riders that prevailed. To you, because we had a lot of people texting yesterday about maybe discipline for the Elks, and then not being able to put anything together with a late possession and some issues there. And then people were asking about some of the penalties and the soft calls. From an Elks point of view, what was their biggest letdown?
Well, it was some discipline play, especially at the end of the game. And David Sanchez mentioned this. He would have loved to see if Cody would have had an opportunity to win it at the end. But because of the undisciplined play, because of the penalties at the end, they never had that opportunity. And then they also had some chances where at the end of the game, they couldn't put themselves in a position to win the game. They couldn't move the ball. So those are two things. I'm sure that they watched the film and they said, guys, we got to correct these. If we want to be a championship caliber team week in and week out, we can't let these things impact us. That's almost, I won't say it's beating yourselves, but it's not putting yourself in the best position to win a game. So they're still in a great position. They're 6-2. They're still one of the elite teams in the league. But they got another challenge coming up this week. They're playing the best team in the CFL this week. They beat them the first time, but that means nothing if you can't do it again. So it's going to be an exciting game to see how things turn out. But they have some small things that they need to get ironed out.
Yeah, I like that leads right into this Saturday's game between the Owls and the Elks. So we're with Milt Stiegel from the CFL on TSN. What do the Elks have to do to be successful in Montreal? And is Montreal a team that has minimal weaknesses, in your opinion?
They do. Shucks, you look at what they've done, the way they've controlled it offensively, and now their defense is starting to ramp up. I mean, that offense, and it's just not, Tyson Philpott and Davis Alexander. That entire offense is in the zone right now with the running game, with Tice and Sneed and everyone else offensive line. They're in the zone right now. And these Elks, they got to try to get him out of that zone. They got to try to put some pressure on Alexander and get him off his spot. You got to get him moving. And before, you didn't want him moving. But I think now, because of his hamstring, his game has evolved where he's not running as much because I don't think he can. So you got to get him off his spot. You got to get him uncomfortable. The matchup that I'm really looking forward to is Tyrell Ford, who's having a spectacular year against Tyson Philpott. That's the matchup I'm looking at. Two young Canadians, two U-Sport athletes who are having spectacular years. So it's going to be an exciting matchup. And as I just mentioned, that Elk defense, they got to get Davis Alexander off his spot. Because if you allow him to sit back there and be comfortable, he will pick you apart as seen in the games he's played in up to this point.
Milt, as a Hall of Fame receiver in this league, what Tyson Philpott has done in 8 games, to you, what does that say?
It says that he's been healthy. I mean, if there's been years past where he was killing it, but he just got hurt, and now that he's healthy, he's showing you week in and week out what he's capable of doing. I played with his father, Corey, and he talks about how him and his brother both, the work they put in the off season, they just need to stay healthy, and that's what's happening now. We see him out there, and as I mentioned, and I said this in the first couple of weeks, he's in a zone right now. When you're in that zone, you feel like there's no one that can stop you. You can be triple covered, quadruple covered, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what play is called, if it's called for you, if you're the decoy. Every time you run a route, you feel like he's going to throw you the ball and you're going to be wide open. And that's definitely been the case. They've been really featuring him. Anthony Cavill, the offensive coordinator, knows how to get him the ball. Sometimes it's receiver screens. Sometimes they got him running downfield. And sometimes it's just unscripted plays. But he's in his zone right now. And the only way you stop him is you got to get to Davis Alexander. Because if you don't, he's going to continue being in that zone. He's going to continue scorching defenses.
Milt, it's been a hell of a run for the Bombers the last 6 years. And then that loss to BC. I know Caden Salter had a great debut in the CFL, especially that fourth quarter where they really put it together and ran away with the game. But is this it? Is this it for this glory period of the Bombers? Or do you think they can still salvage things?
I thought in our little pre-talk, we said we weren't going to bring up the Bombers. This is a touchy subject for me, but you're still going to bring it up. Yeah, I think the window is closed. I think it is closed. Even if they get Zach back, I think that window is closed. It's not like he's been tearing it up the last couple of years anyway. Yeah. So it's I won't say pull the plug, but that window is closed. It's time to move on and find a different route, because the route they've been going on, hey, it's a no outlet street now. You're about to run into a wall and you can't turn around. So it's time to move on in a different direction. It's unfortunate. They had a great run. They went to 5 straight Grey Cups, 1, 2, but that window is closed and it's time to move in a different direction. It hurts me because how I feel about my Blue Bombers, but I'm also honest and I can see it's not only the writings on the wall, they're painting on these walls, and it's some strong paint letting you know that it's time to go in a different direction.
I apologize for bringing that up. I did not get the memo from Brandon. I don't know how to read. He did pass me a note, and I'll work on that. But, okay, and BC, Caden Salter, like that great debut. I know he's just figuring out the CFL. Was it beginner's luck in your opinion, or do you think that there's a player there? I know Nathan Rourke was practicing yesterday, which is a good sign for the Lions as well. But what do you make of the Lions? Could they make a push later in this season, in the last 2/3 of the season, to kind of show that they're still a contender?
Without a doubt. It's not going to be Caden Salter. It has to be Nathan Rourke. I like what he did. I'm not surprised that he was able to run like that. I mean, he had a season in college where he rushed for over 1,000 yards, so we know he's a runner. But you're not winning games consistently with that type of running going on. If you can't throw the ball in this league, you're not winning. They were very fortunate they were able to do that. I mean, that was one of the worst loss in Bombers history in the last 10 years, in my opinion, because they allowed him to run the ball with a rookie quarterback who you knew wasn't going to be able to drop back and read defenses. But your formula for success can't be rushing the ball for over 300 yards in the CFL. They have something there maybe if he can develop into a passer, because we know he can run the ball, and we were somewhat comparing him to Damon Allen. You don't want to do that now because we know what Damon Allen did. But you can't just do that and think you're going to win week in and week out. But if the BC Lions get a healthy Nathan Rourke back, of course they have a chance. They have a chance to do great things because of the type of quarterback he is. So if he comes back healthy and that defense continues getting better as they have in the last 3 weeks, don't be surprised if the BC Lions are doing some damage, and maybe even in the Grey Cup. You never know.
Yeah, well, I know expectations are high in BC, so it's interesting the season that they've had in the World Cup kind of disrupting their home schedule and all that. So we'll see where they go. Okay, last one for you, Milt. I ended up going out to a couple of restaurants after the game. It was an earlier start. I know we had that hour and 15-minute rain delay and lightning delay. But a friend of a friend in an Elks jersey said, I almost hit Milt Stiegel in the head with a shoe. Davis Sanchez caught it. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, you didn't see the video? I said, no, I had enough stuff going on. What the heck happened? Because I think you and Davis posted the video, but you didn't even flinch. You were getting touched up. You're in your own world, but what the heck happened there?
So I don't know if you know the guy or not. So he
Just
wanted
met
to
him
get
that
his
night.
shoe. He wanted to get his shoe signed, and I guess he told Davis he was going to throw it. And as you mentioned, I'm getting touched up once again. It's touched up. I don't need makeup. Milt still don't need makeup. It was just some anti-shine. You know, I'm a star, so I'm always shining.
Yes.
So the makeup artist was putting anti-shine. I had my eyes closed. The gentleman threw the shoe. I had no clue he was throwing the shoe, and it was fortunate that Davis saw it and reached over. Otherwise, I'd have been hit in the head, and I would have been suing the Elks, and it would have been the Edmonton Steagles because I would have owned the Elks. But, you know, it was very fortunate that Davis that's probably the first interception in his career because when he played, he dropped everything. But he made a great catch. He made a great catch that day, and I'm very thankful for it. And the gentleman, he apologized. He felt sorry because he didn't know he was going to almost hit Milt Steagle in the head.
Well, he did feel shame when he brought it up to me, and I'm like, oh my God, how did I miss this? So the video's great, and I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad Davis caught something because that would have been a disaster. Milt, this was awesome. Look forward to seeing you this weekend, and thanks as always. Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
There you go, Milt Steagle, CFL on TSN. Legend, great guy, really awesome through and through, and I love it. Yes, the shoe, if you didn't see it, Milt put it on his Instagram, and I think Davis did too. I'm not sure if CFL on TSN, they must have put it on their social media, but I went to a couple spots. I did pop into Kelly's after the game, and then I made my way over to local to say hi to my buddy Dean Lowry and his crew. And yeah, one of the guys like, yeah, I almost hit Milt Steagle with my shoe. I said, why? What kind of person throws a shoe?
Who throws a shoe?
Who throws a shoe? Really?
Honestly.
And he's like, I wanted to get it signed. And Davis Sanchez caught it. And fortunately, that is all on video.
Two questions, Tom. As follow-up to this. One, was DVD at Kelly's?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, DVD had a night.
Right. Okay. As expected.
Yeah.
And number two, how do you think the fan base would react to a name change, but becoming the Edmonton Steagles instead of the Edmonton Elks or the return to the Eskimos moniker?
Well, I thought that was hilarious.
Would the pushback be as strong or more so, less so, indifferent?
I think Milt would point back to 2006 and say, I own the double.
I own them already. Sore topic for as he gave you the gears about, you know, rubbing the salt in the wound about the Bombers,
yes,
and their end of terror over the league. But listen, he's not shy about rubbing that into local football fans. Going back to that,
Brando,
very well documented catch.
I remember that play vividly.
The catch. You're like a young Tom Brady at Candlestick Park.
That's right.
For the catch, it was young Tom Gazzola watching Milt.
Milt do his thing. And then little did I know, 2 decades later, we would be working together.
Wow.
Small How about
world,
that?
Eh?
Yeah. But that was the first year, because I still have my season seats. I'll always keep them. And that was the first year we had season seats. So I was 20. And the Eskimos had a late drive to take the lead. And there was only, 8 seconds left. It was the last play of the game. And I think whoever the DC was for the Double E sent a blitz. And Milt was wide open.
Dr. Blitz.
Oh, yeah. It was Kevin Glenn still the quarterback for the Bombers back then. Anyway, he's basically in the shadow of the goalpost, if not already in his own end zone. And he just puts it up. And I'm like, why is there nobody on prevent defense in the secondary? And there goes Milt. What was it, 112 yards? And I think he was giving the peace sign.
Yeah, giving him a little salute.
Commonwealth was rocking. And 10 seconds later, it was just pure quiet. And the Edmonton Steagles were prevalent that day. He owned them. Anyway, great stuff from Milt. It's too bad for Trey Ford. It's just, it ain't it, you know? It ain't it with him. Pillman getting in. Says, I was there. I remember it well too, Tommy. Brutal. Yes, Pillman. Yeah, that was it was a great comeback from Edmonton. And then they had the Bombers hemmed in. And then that pass And it's just total buzzkill. So, Pillman, I was there with you, and I vividly remember that. Oh, boy. Yeah. And then Brian getting in on the Hamilton discussion as well says, from Hamilton's point of view, how much are they hating Ed Hervey signing Powell? Yep. That's a good point. That's a good point. Maybe they could have traded for Drew Brown. How much would that have helped, though?
From where they're currently at, I think it would be an improvement, if not a volatile one, I guess, right? You talk about Drew Brown and his, we've seen a couple different shades of him as a Blue Bomber. We've seen some good, we've seen some pretty bad, and we've seen some in between. So I think that's just what Drew Brown is. Like, he's just an okay quarterback that will have a lot of ups and downs. He's not Bo Levi Mitchell. He's not Nathan Rourke. He's frankly not Cody Fajardo even.
He's second level QB in the CFL. He's not a starter.
I don't even know.
He's filling.
I think he'd be like a third. If we're like tiering quarterbacks, I think he'd probably be in the third at best. Because I think at the top you've got your MOP guys, Mitchell, Rourke, and probably Alexander at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Chad Kelly still, and then after that you've got Fajardo, and Harris is great. I mean, he's a Grey Cup champion, but I do think those other guys are probably still above him, and
that's
probably Zach Collaros when he's starting. And then after that, you've got everybody else.
That's good. That's a good assessment. I'm being a little bit too positive when it comes to.
Well, that's how we started the show, right? We're trying to put the positive vibes
out
into the ether here on a Wednesday.
I love that.
After another cell ran through last night, more rain, more lightning.
I know. I looked outside. I'm like, what's going on again?
I'm actually at this point pretty much as ready to write off my tomato plants. There's nothing. I'm trying. Well, not saturated. They just get beat to hell from all this wind and like the blowing rain and stuff. So then I do my best to reset them and get them back upright. But
do you have a support stand for them, like a small stick?
So I'd looked into that originally when they were starting to grow substantially, and I didn't think I'd need one. But I'm probably going to head down the road to some retailer today, honestly. Because I did some perusing on Amazon, but then they don't have the right measurements to make sure I know if they're wide enough to get inside the pot. And so
you got to thread them through.
Yeah, like I'm probably going to go look today, because if there's any hope they have at this point, it will be with some extra support. And like the one, it was yielding fruit. Like tomatoes were on it.
Where are they outside?
They're on my balcony.
On your balcony?
Yeah.
You can try to shield them.
Well, like if I'm there and I see it coming, I'll like pull them in so they're not quite as exposed.
Yeah.
But even still, like they're still getting windy. Like I'm not bringing them in the house. My cats will just destroy them.
Oh, they would love those.
They love them. Even when I let them out on the deck, they immediately go to it. They want to dig on the dirt in the edge of the pot. They want to eat the leaves. They're just menaces. So I do what I can, but especially when I'm like, just rewind a week ago when I was at that Riverhawks game when that storm came through.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trapped inside the Concourse Remax Field. There's no one there to help them.
And you're like, my poor tomatoes.
There's the first thing I said is I watched the wind howling out the windows at Remax. I'm like, my tomatoes are so bleeped right now.
You sound like an old Italian woman.
Well, I've heard Kevin Carius preach, and that's who gave these to me, right? He gave me these plants. As a gift, and I've done my best to nurture and raise them, and I was doing what I thought was a good job, but
well,
I'm not sure. It's the outlook's looking pretty bleak right now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
My Nona was a proficient tomato grower, and she had little tricks, and she always had like the stick, the small stick down the middle of the vine to kind of hold them up because of our weather, and then my grandpa was a carpenter, but a handyman. And he had like panes of glass for her to like lean where the tomatoes were growing when they were still small.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She protected them. She protected them very well. Great tomatoes. Even better pasta sauce.
There you go.
There you go. It yielded delicious pasta sauce. All right. Good stuff from Milt Stegall. We're going to step out for a quick breather. When we come back, more of the discussion around the CFL. Any topic you want to hit on, hit us up, 1-833-401-1440. We're rolling on a positive Wednesday here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, "Thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the Pro Press fitting to my copper pipe."
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
At GS Construction, we won't quit until we find a way to get the job done. And the right person makes all the difference. We're looking for our next superintendent, an experienced leader ready to take on the role. Because while GS Construction is building the water, sewage, and drainage systems Edmonton communities rely on, the superintendent is building up the team. If you know how to keep a job site safe, productive, and moving, we want to hear from you. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey Culligan, I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Showman for the game live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Here's what you need to know about Lux Windows. We work hard. We come in early, we stay late, we go above and beyond, and then we go a little further. Not for awards or a pat on the back. We work hard so that choosing our windows and doors is an easy decision for you. It's the Alberta way. It's the Lux way. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
The Tom Gazzola Show. All gas, no brakes. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Well, Brian Adams to get you going on this Wednesday. It's the Tom Gazzola Show, Brought to you by Bet365. Mark Spector will join us at the start of hour number 2. Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in studio with me here, and we're rolling along nicely. Some positive text. Remember, we want to put it into the ether. It's working, boys. Coach Vic says, man, it does my heart good to hear the positive discussion on the Elks. So many years to get here. Love it. From Vic. Coach Vic, thank you. Brian says, I love CFL QB talk. What would the conversation sound like with Anthony Calvillo as a Tiger Cat, or Tom Wilkinson as an Argonaut, or Damon Allen as a Memphis Mad Dog? A great QB has an offense that highlights his strengths. What are some other QB team combos that looked odd? Well, how about Anthony Calvillo as a Las Vegas Posse? Ooh. Did you know that one? Did I get you, Fenny?
No, you didn't, actually. This is the second time that Anthony Calvillo, Vegas Posse legend, has been brought up in the last 24 hours on the station.
Really?
Yeah. This was talked about yesterday. On Tuesday, like for the Declination segment, we've been doing trivia.
Yep.
And, I mean, shout out to our intern, Connor. He's been coming up with the questions. They've been great questions. And so yesterday, his like final question, the wild card, was how many American teams were in the CFL? And then the bonus was, can you name how many, or can you name them? And so we're going through, and then we got to the Vegas Posse, and both Lowtide and Declan, learned CFL fans, were like, oh, Anthony Calvillo was awesome on that. And then they started talking about, dude, he threw for 80,000 yards. They're just talking about Anthony Calvillo, but it was like, yeah, Vegas Posse is how it started.
The Las Vegas Posse played at Sam Boyd Stadium. You might have seen the viral clip of like the Oh Canada rendition that's to the tune of Oh Christmas Tree. I believe Greg Bartholomew, the lounge singer from whatever Vegas Strip Hotel at the time, totally blew it. And then I think they invited him to Hamilton the next week, and he crushed it. He got the Canadian anthem perfectly. But yeah, Las Vegas Posse, Birmingham, Barracudas, I think. Shreveport Pirates, Baltimore Stallions, who were the CFLers for a bit of that time. And then Memphis Mad Dogs, San Antonio Texans. And am I missing any? I think there's supposed to be the Miami Manatees at one point, but they folded before that could happen. I think I got them all. David Archer, former Eskimo, 1 year after coming out of the broadcast booth to rejoin the CFL on the field.
Did you get the Sacramento Gold Miners?
No, thank you. My bad.
Probably the best name of the list. That or Mad Dogs.
This was a time, Fenny, in the 90s. I think Brando would probably remember this, where they were trying to do like big logos coming out of the side on sports jerseys. You saw the Anaheim Ducks with Wild Wing coming out of the side on that jersey. The St. Louis Blues had
the Blue Note one.
It was the trumpet.
Right, yeah.
Mike Keenan
and
wouldn't let
like
them
the
wear.
sheet music.
Yes.
Coming up off the side.
Yes.
Sort of the King's Burger King one.
Correct.
Like that big swoop up then to the Burger King himself kind of on the shoulder.
Yeah. And
not a
the
great
CFL,
era.
No, and the CFL, like the Mad Dog, the Elks had, or pardon me, the Eskimos had one. And I'd have to ask Dwayne Mandrusiak this, but I think he's talked to me about it, where they had Nanook, the polar bear, on the side coming out, and then somebody kiboshed it, said, we're not wearing that crap.
It sounds bad.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It's cartoonish.
I'm sorry that this was an era that you guys had to live through.
Well, I didn't really live through it. I got to experience it after the fact, mostly.
I lived through it.
I'm sorry this is an experience you had to live through.
Thank
it sounds
you, Tom.
traumatizing.
Oh, no, it's all good. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. Andrew says, I remember in the Knothole gang, David Archer got ejected one game when he was walking to the locker room. I screamed at him that he sucked. I was just a kid. He turned around and pointed and started swearing at me. Classic memories. Also, whatever happened to Coach K. Stevenson was even real, or was that just our imagination? Yeah, like Dave Jameson, who we worked with at 1260, and I spent some time working with him a bit at EST, and then went back to the Elks organization after I think 14 years as the PR guy. Talks about the K. Stevenson year And then I think Don Matthews came in after that. And then that ushered in the Tom Higgins era. Then Machocha. And then obviously it devolved from there until Ed Hervey came in and brought Jason Moss on board. But yeah, that was like one bad year. I think they were very close to not making the playoffs. It was Kay Stevenson and David Archer who were together in, was it Sacramento or was it San Antonio? And it did not work. It was bad. It was bad. So there's that. We were talking about some other things, and Brandon, you brought this up. Benny talked about Joe Buck doing Sports Jeopardy on ESPN, but that reminded me of something you brought up, Lloyd Robertson passing away, and we have a couple minutes here. Were you a big Lloyd Robertson guy? Like, hell of a career.
Well, yeah, I would be as much of a Lloyd Robertson guy as someone I think of my age and kind of generation could be, where I still grew up seeing the news on TV, and he was obviously a staple there, right? On the CTV desk is the lead guy. So no, like for my lifetime, he was the news for Canadians. Like that's where you went to watch, and obviously you had other outlets and stuff, but he was kind of the one synonymous with it. So a life incredibly well lived. Like he passed away at 92.
Yep.
Retired. Man, it's a lot of years ago now. All of a sudden, but you like I just watched a little kind of compilation together this morning, put out of the list of things that he covered, and it kind of like one of his first big things was the Kennedy assassination.
Wow.
Right, and then you move that into like the fall of the Berlin Wall, the Diana and Charles royal wedding mixed in there, and then into obviously some more modern things in the 21st century. And it's like, wow, like when you can do it for that long and be as good as he was for that long, it obviously deserves a ton of respect. And the pride of Stratford, Ontario. Sorry, Justin Bieber.
Don't do Biebs dirty like
an
that.
absolute Canadian legend and Canadian icon, and an incredible life and incredible career.
Yeah, hell of a broadcaster, man. That was a guy who commanded the desk. When you heard his voice, you listened, and you could point to like the Ron Burgundy type. Well, Ron Burgundy is based off of guys like Lloyd Robertson.
Yeah. Like legitimate news guys.
Yep.
Right. From a little bit of a bygone era.
Yeah. It's different now.
I want to say Lloyd made an appearance, and I'm just trying to fact check myself here in real time. Did he not make a cameo on a Corner Gas episode?
Probably. I would think so.
I would think so too.
A Canadian icon. And I think will be forever remembered. So yeah, I think fitting that we touch on that. 92 years old. A great career. You don't get to go out on your own terms in this business very often. Now, did he was able to just walk away and retire, right? Maybe he was guided to it.
Yeah, it's 2011. 41 years a national news anchor between CBC and CTV.
Damn.
He anchored CTV News for the final time.
Damn. It's a long time, man. Well done, sir. Much respect to Lloyd Robertson. Brian says, Lloyd Robertson, the Walter Cronkite of Canada. Yes, indeed. So with that, we got to head into a sports update brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand, high-quality promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. Here's Brennan.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays dropped the second of three in Houston last night, 7-2 the final. Worst news for Toronto, however, is Trey Yesavage left the game after just 2 innings pitched with some left knee discomfort during his warm-up pitches for the third inning. He's expected to undergo an MRI for further diagnosis later on today. Elsewhere around the major leagues of baseball, Tarek Skubal's debut for the Dodgers goes 6 strong, but the LA club losing to Chicago from Wrigley 5-1. Yankees, they blanked the Cardinals 2-0. And in the nightcap game, the Seattle Mariners get beat up on by the Tigers 8-0. WCL action last night from Bellingham. The Riverhawks fall to the Bells 4-3. They'll wrap up their regular season schedule later on today. And Haleka Gretzky Cup action yesterday from downtown Edmonton. Canada defeated Slovakia 6-1 to cinch up top spot in the pool. Czechia beat Germany 8-3. Switzerland over Sweden in a high-scoring affair 7-6. And the United States getting past Finland 4-1. Coming up in hour 2 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by Sportsnet's Mark Spector and Nick Farabaugh from Penn Live covering the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero-gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back. LeadingEdgePhysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
This summer, cheer on your favorite teams at Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with tons of big screens. Plus, Sully's Big League menu has it all. Small bites and big bites, game day food and drink features, something for everyone. From the gridiron to the diamond, this is the place to catch all the action all summer long. Sully's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
The Tom Gazzola Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
8:05, second hour of a Wednesday edition of the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Text us, join the conversation. Pretty positive out there today. I think we set the tone nicely. People responding in kind. Appreciate that. 1-833-401-1440. Time now to get to On the Mark with Spec, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Employee pricing extended into August on every car SUV, and be sure to check out the Corvette showroom. Stop in, see their great selection at northgatetm.com. Hello, Spec. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good, man. I think they're going to extend employee pricing until Mike Lowe gets back to work after taking the whole summer off to just sit out at the lake and do basically nothing.
Did you not hear the positive thing? Here you are taking shots. I'm just kidding. That's pretty good.
Who would go to the lake all summer and do basically nothing? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, right? You got to be a real, you know what, to do something like that. Are you at the lake right now, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
I know, exactly. So,
am I doing anything? No, I'm doing basically nothing out here.
Good. Good. I mean, it's summer, man. I mean, I know we have, we've got hockey going on, and the Hlinka Gretzky's happening. There was a World Junior showcase that happened last week, and people dive into it. Like, they really dive in. And we were talking a little bit earlier, and I know that the Hlinka Gretzky's happening right across the street from my home, but I went down to Commonwealth instead yesterday to watch some of Elks practice and to chat with some people. I don't know if it was all the World Juniors that happened here in Edmonton in that short span during COVID that kind of wore me out. But Spec, I'm just kind of like at an arm's length being like, okay, how's Canada doing? Good, they're winning. All right, nice. And I'll leave it there. How do you approach summer hockey? Because you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah. No, as I said yesterday, I'm morally opposed to summer hockey. I always was. Like, guys I knew played, hey, come play summer hockey. It's awesome. You get to go to the rink in shorts and sandals. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, yeah, I'd rather go. There's lots of places I'd rather go in shorts and sandals than a rink.
I know.
But it's just a personal choice. I've never been a big summer hockey guy. I know lots of guys who are, guys who played every year. But I mean, for me, the interesting thing is we have the World Junior here this winter.
Yep. And
there has been some World Junior fatigue here. Edmonton really carried the ball. And I said before that I feel like the Oilers organization and all, our city, we deserve a proper World Junior here. Like, we carried the ball here for Hockey Canada all through COVID with those back-to-back goofy ones, the one in August, ones get canceled. Like, Edmonton did a lot of heavy lifting over that time, and they deserve a traditional, proper start on the 26th and finish on the 5th or whatever it is, World Junior. But I guess my question will be, I'll watch with interest to see if there's any World Junior fatigue out there at Edmonton. Do the tickets fly off the shelves the way they always used to around here? I'm not sure they will. I hope they do. Let's see what happens, right? What do you think?
I think that's fair. I was a little bit surprised that we got another one here this quickly. I'm sure in Red Deer, there's probably more of a thirst for it, especially with what happened the last time the Edmonton and Red Deer hosted, and that fell short very quickly and was canceled very quickly.
That wedding, remember the wedding?
Yeah, I was just going to bring.
We should find that couple and have they should be honored at this World Junior, don't you think?
Now this is supposed to be a positive Wednesday, but are they still together? I know people. I've had friends who got divorced after months of marriage, which is unfortunate.
Well, they had a rocky start when their wedding basically led to the cancellation of the entire World Junior, or at least that's how it was portrayed.
Now, were the players mingling? Did they crash the wedding, or was it just people weren't being corralled into the right areas? I'm a little fuzzy on the details with, but yeah.
Now we're devolving into the whole
I know
COVID scene, which I'd rather not, but
let's not. Now, but okay, Spec, I know this isn't summer hockey, but it was for a time, and that was the World Cup of hockey. And I think Edmonton, you want to talk about a great get, was the fact that Edmonton snuck in there and managed to pull this off with Calgary to get the World Cup of hockey here, and especially the semifinals and the finals here in Edmonton. I think that's kind of falling under the radar, don't you think?
Yeah, because it's a long ways away. What are we talking here? We're talking
2028,
28.
February, I think.
Yeah, Feb of 28. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think that will be no issues here. That'll sell, and we'll be excited, and it'll be fun. Like when that kind of a gathering of the hockey world only happens basically during a Stanley Cup final, where everybody who's anybody in hockey comes to your city. Maybe a draft, not even probably, but
Yeah.
those are different. Like that'll be when everybody shows up for that. All the European teams and Team USA will be playing, and I don't fear for any ticket going unsold or any lack of interest or any fatigue. I think Edmonton and all of Alberta, like we've watched these things out of Toronto and Montreal our whole lives, and Philadelphia and Boston and all these World Cups and all these, best on best tournaments. Getting one of those here, that's not going to be an issue, man. I think people are going to be absolutely charged up for it.
Do you like the switch over to the deep of winter rather than like late? Remember they did in late summer, the first few?
Yeah.
What do you think of that move?
No, that's a fair question. Like it impacts the schedule less when you do it in September, but then it impacts the players' summers more, right? Like if you're telling NHL players that they got to be ready to play in this tournament in September 15th, that changes their whole summer around, and I get it. So this way they get their summer, they play a half a season or better, and then we start into the best on best, and they're ready to play, and there's no special training or no extra work to be done. But we get stuck generally with a very compacted season like we had, I guess, last year. And, now you got an 84 game compacted season, right? So just a couple extra nights in there. So either way, there's so much hockey going on now. I'm not sure we're going to solve this problem, are we?
Nope, probably not, because there's money to be made, Spec. And
that's really where it boils down to, my friend, the almighty dollar.
Dollar bills, y'all. It is On the Mark with Mark Spector, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Okay, Spec, I want to throw this one at you. I'm kind of curious because I've had some interesting experiences with legends, and this is in honor of Lloyd Robertson's passing. So Jumpin' Jack Flash text in, said, "Hey, TG and guys, Lloyd Robertson, total class act and news anchor. We need more of his style these days so bad. Rest in peace," from Jumpin' Jack Flash. And then there were people mentioning Brian Williams and his Olympics coverage here in Canada over the years. There was Brian Williams on NBC in the U.S., and people were saying that Lloyd Robertson was the Walter Cronkite of Canada. I know Peter Mansbridge was tremendous. Your interactions with legends in broadcast throughout your career, because I've had a couple, but I feel like you probably have come across more of them in your time.
I don't know. I run into Ian Hanuman now and again, who's a fine gentleman.
Yes, I've met him.
Yeah, he's a really, really nice guy. I have a ton of respect for his work. I don't know. I don't have a long list of guys that are anchors that I've had a chance to run into over the years, but
what about the sports side?
Oh, the sports side for sure. Brian Williams was a guy that was, Brian Williams was, I'm trying to think of a comparable. Like he was so famous and so good and so legendary, but he always made you feel like you were the famous one when you ran into him.
That's a good.
He always made you feel like you were the important person. I was like, wait a second, you're Brian Williams. What are you talking about me for?
Hey,
right?
That's a good touch if you can do that.
Oh yeah, no, Brian Williams for sure. Really, really, and really good. One of those like Ron McLean encyclopedic memories that pulls up the bronze medal winner from the 400 meter event in Sydney in 2000 Olympics. Oh yeah, I got that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't even remember where the Olympics were in 2000.
Sydney Olympics were great. That was Simon Whitfield. I think Canada did decently at those Olympics. I remember watching so much of it. How about, did you, because like I know when CBC and Sportsnet kind of came together on Hockey Night and hockey in general. Obviously Bob Cole was a part of that.
Yeah, Bob Cole's my next one for sure.
Yeah, and then Don Cherry as well. Like, did you interact a lot with them?
Yes and no. Actually, I was really honored. Bob Cole did a book signing here in Edmonton, and I emceed it. I have a feeling somebody fell through, and I got a call from. It was the same publisher that had published a book that I did, and I got a call from someone I knew there, and they go, "Hey, man, we're in a jam," and I said, "Yeah, sure, it's Bob Cole." So I read the book in a couple of days and sort of took him through his signing, and that was really cool. Basically all I did was interview Bob Cole, which was easy because who can't think of 10 or 12 questions for Bob Cole. So and he's the same guy. He was like, he had no ego, again, made you feel like you're the important person. Don Cherry less so, but I will say about Don, like I phoned him, I talked to him for, what was it? I did a book in the World Juniors. And remember the time that they remember Piastani and they came back and he had the big thing where he organized for gold medals to be given to the guys.
Right.
And he gave me a ton of time. Whenever you phoned Don Cherry for a column or something, he'd give you time on the phone. And I never had a ton of in-person with Don because when Don Cherry showed up, it's like, if you wanted to talk to Don Cherry, you had to get in line.
Yep.
Everyone's hanging around Don Cherry all the time. So that wasn't really my scene. I thought the last thing he needs is another guy hanging around. But I'll say for Don, like I say, when something happened in the hockey world and you were writing a column and you thought, Don Cherry's the voice for this, he was always accessible and every bit as good on the phone as he was on TV, man. You never walked away from a conversation with Don Cherry saying, he didn't give me much. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite.
I interviewed him once, and they brought him and Ron here. It was like a tour they were doing, I think 50th year of Hockey Night.
Yes.
And Steve Hogel set it up. Hogel was an awesome VP that I worked for. I have all the time in the world for Steve. And it depended on how Coach's Corner went. And if Coach's Corner went well, Don would do the interview. If it didn't, SOL.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Warren Love and Steve Hogel come up to me and they're like, "Hey, it went well. You can interview him. He's in that, that old back room at Rexall where the writers would file their post game."
Yep.
He was in there with Scott Oak and he's sitting there, suspenders on, this checkered suit, jacket off. And he's like, "I'm telling you, Okie, I had my stick like this, ready to kill the guy. And I go to whack him. I catch my own guy and cut him for stitches on his lip." And that's like the moment I walk in. I'm like, "Oh my God." And they're like,
start that story again when I get my camera rolling.
Yeah. And they're like, "Don, Tom Gazzola here from Oilers TV to interview you." And he's like, hey, Tom, hey, how's it going? Okay, yeah, we'll do this in a couple minutes. And I remember there was the night Gretzky scored 5. And Don was on that broadcast with Tim Dancy.
Yeah, he was like the color man for that game or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was this crazy combo back in the day. And I'm like, "Hey, Tim Dancy did that game." He's like, "How do you remember that?" I'm like, I'm a nerd. I don't know. And he's like, "Hey, you're pretty good." And I was like, "Geez, that was really good."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, guys, so it's a lesson in life, right?
Yeah.
It's a lesson. Like we were all Tom Gazzola one time going in that room. The first interview I ever did in my life, I'm holding a little microphone for CJSR. And I'm interviewing the San Diego Chicken at the U of A gym. And the guy's name is Ted Gianolis, a little Greek guy. And he's wearing the yellow tights. The whole top of the chicken is lying there on the bench, like the feathery torso and the head.
Yep.
And I'm talking to this little Greek guy in yellow tights. And I'm nervous as hell because I'm 17 or something. And he made it great. Like he could see that I was nervous and he could see I didn't know what I was doing. And he carried me through the whole interview and I got a nice piece for CJSR in the Gateway. But my point is, we were all that person once in our profession. And you know what? If you're driving to work now and you're the boss, right? Or you own the company or you're a 30, 40-year guy and you're very confident in what you do now and you've been doing this for a long time and you're not nervous anymore. Well, when you run across that 18-year-old who is, remember, you used to be him.
Yeah.
So, or her, and treat them the way you wish someone would have treated you back then. Like, we're talking about all these people that, Don Cherry didn't have to treat you that well. And Bob Cole and Brian Williams and all those people, John Short, right?
Yeah. Legend.
Always open, that made you feel welcome, like you were in the press box, like you were one of the guys, even when you weren't one of the guys. So that's a lesson in life right there. And I hope that, I try to do the same thing. We see a kid from the Gateway or from some country station walks in the press box to cover an Oilers game because they cover the Irma Aces and Carson Soucy's in town. You make that person feel welcome, right?
Mm-hmm. That's so well said, Spec. Like, so well said. A good reminder, and in honor of Lloyd Robertson. So, man,
Lloyd Robertson. There you go.
That flew by. What a segment. Hey, I enjoyed that. Good Wednesday positivity. Spec, always a pleasure, sir. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Sounds good, Tommy. Thanks a lot.
There you go. There's Mark Spector on the mark, powered by Northgate. This truck's for you. When we come back, we're going to shift gears, talk a little NFL with Nick Farbaugh from Penn Live and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Great stuff as we roll along here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. Then a volunteer gave me a medal. But I don't want participation trophies, unless they're from Bet365. With their daily prize matcher game, I win by matching gold coins, cherries, and more. Take that, denim man. Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
They're going all out to earn your business at Wolf GMC Buick. Right now, they're seriously overstocked on over 400 pieces of inventory on clearance and ready to move. See for yourself. Click on the clearance tab at wolfgmcbuick.com. And it gets even better. Employee pricing continues with huge cash discounts, 0% purchase financing, and low lease rates on select vehicles. Once again, see their website for details or stop in today. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Welcome to the Bro Zone, the ultimate garage setup for checking out the big game.
70-inch TV? Check. Surround sound? Check. Mini fridge fully stocked? Check.
But a legendary Bro Zone needs legendary snacks.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Load up on Alberta's best beef jerky. It's the perfect game day companion when you're watching from the ultimate fan cave.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Not sure where to turn? Remember 211, the number to contact for mental health, addiction, and community supports. It's free, confidential, and available 24/7. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
Oh, mama, I'm in
The Tom Gazzola Show. 60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
8:25 in Edmonton. Good morning. You're listening to the Tom Gazzola Show. iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, the AM dial. Maybe you're listening on a podcast later on in the day. We appreciate that. Of course, you could be watching on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Thank you so very much for doing so. Of course, the Gazzola Show brought to you by Bet365. Check out Bet365's early payout for baseball. When your team goes up by 5 runs, you get paid out immediately. No stress about blowing a big lead. Download the app, see what early payout is all about. Text us 1-833-401-1440 as we roll along, and we're going to discuss the Pittsburgh Steelers with Nick Farbaugh from Penn Live. Busy man. I was going through his timeline yesterday, and very thorough, and that's the kind of info we want as we do our NFL previews, getting ready for the upcoming season. Who are you bringing on for the card? I'm just kidding. Don't worry about the Cardinals stuff. I don't even want to talk about them. Oh, you did it while I was gone. Thank you. I appreciate that. So let's talk about the Steelers with Nick here. Let's bring him on from Penn Live. Nick, Steelers camp, full swing. I know a lot of the talk yesterday was about Aaron Rodgers and his appearance on the Pat McAfee show. maybe let's just start with that, get it out of the way, because I tire of Aaron Rodgers and I'm over Aaron Rodgers, yet here he is continuing to play and decently well, but getting headlines for saying stupid stuff or stuff that people like. I don't know. You tell me. How's that gone over?
I mean, in the locker room, it doesn't go over bad at all because his teammates love him. But let's be real, it's another attention-grabbing thing. I don't think Mike McCarthy wanted to answer a question about it yesterday. I don't think his teammates want to answer questions about it. Both things happened. And you could tell it irks a little bit. But I do think Aaron Rodgers, at the very least, is a very good leader. I'll give him credit for that. And he's a pretty funny guy. He's got an ability to crack some jokes. The locker room loves Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is a different Aaron Rodgers from last year, Tom, and I think that's something big. Is he didn't do this last year. He didn't go on the Pat McAfee show and talk politics and take shots at people. He did it when he did it. It was all football talk. It was all strictly about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then he sidewinds it this year. Is this going to be a sign of things to come? You got to wonder, because the Jets, I mean, this is what happened in New York, right? This is what happened. And he would take shots at people. Yeah, sure, they would talk politics, but eventually it morphed into him starting to go after the Jets on national television. And so you don't want this to happen. And then all of a sudden it's week 8 and you're getting pot shots at Mike McCarthy and his teammates. And somehow the Steelers are getting roped into this. So listen, Aaron Rodgers is going to do what Aaron Rodgers does. And he's an enigma. And that's all he is. And no matter what you think of his views, they're going to get attention-grabbing headlines. And so you're just going to have to navigate those waters. The idea is, hopefully, what the Steelers should do is say, can you hold this off till after the football season? Because we're trying to win a Super Bowl here, and this is going to be a distraction.
Nick, did he reconcile with his family? Did I see that, or was that also AI generated, like his fake wife that
Oh my goodness.
popped up? Yeah.
Yeah, no, he did reconcile with his family. So that was a big thing this offseason that he did. And good for him. I mean, anytime you can do that. I don't know what the details of the estrangement were. It's been going on for what seems like it was like 10 years at least now that he had been estranged from his family. I think it's like 2016 that finally came out, and now he reconciled with them. Good for him. But he is a fascinating person when you get to be around him. And I mean, like, there was an incident we had. The players in the media share a cafeteria when we eat lunch, and he told me, take my AirPods out because they'll give me cancer. And you're like, all right, Aaron, that's just an Aaron Rodgers story. That it's really emblematic of the type of guy Aaron is and what he kind of brings to the table.
Well, I mean, I guess you could bring up ayahuasca retreats and you really connect with him if you really wanted to, but that's not surprising. I'll say that. That's not surprising to hear something like that. Now, when he's not saying weird stuff and grabbing headlines for running his mouth or whatever, how has he looked performing on the field at training camp, in your opinion?
He's looked really good. His accuracy's there, the arm's still there. Obviously, he doesn't move as he used to with the mobility, but they've looked really sharp offensively so far, and he's developed a really good rapport with DK Metcalf. he and Metcalf have been just phenomenal so far at camp. And then the breakout guy of training camp so far has been Roman Wilson, their wide receiver 3, who was battling with the rookie Jeremy Bernard for that role. He's looked excellent. There was a lot of questions about Roman Wilson's 3rd year, and he's looked good. That connections look phenomenal. He's still got that connection with Pat Freiermuth and Darnell Washington going with the tight ends. They've been heavily involved. So Rodgers looks fantastic, honestly. The deep ball down the sideline has really been working for him. He looks comfortable in Mike McCarthy's scheme. Not a surprise. He kind of knows it. It's changed a little bit, but not a lot. The verbiage is very similar. So he didn't have to do a lot of work like the other guys, but he looks like he's in command of this thing. And so he's looked really, really good.
Now, okay, did I read this correctly? There was some issue with the amount of time that the guys are putting on the pads at camp in Pittsburgh. Has that been a topic of discussion?
So Mike McCarthy back in the day got caught for doing this too long and got essentially sanctioned, fined. And so every time there's a press conference right before practice, he mentions how much time they have. Oh, we're going to be out there for 105 minutes. We're going to be out there for 120. Oh, it's going to be 90 minutes. And you bet it, even if they're in the middle of a drill and it's 90 minutes from the start of practice, they're off the field. He doesn't mess around with it. So the CBA does a lot for okay, you have to do this ramp up period. You only get this much practice time. And Mike Tomlin sometimes wouldn't always use the full practice time, and certainly didn't talk about the CBA a lot at practice times. Mike McCarthy makes a note of it about 3 times a press conference, just because I think of that experience. And they go, man. They're snappy. If you want to go in between individual drills to team drills, you got to run. I mean, it's pretty fast paced. It's funny. They'll end individual drills, and I'll walk 30 yards down the sideline, and they're already running the first team period. Like right after that, they just go. They fit a lot in to 105 minutes. It's really not a lot of time when you think about what you want to do in a football practice. And so, yeah, it is a topic of discussion because Mike McCarthy says, "All right, I only get 105 minutes, no breaks."
Damn, you know what? I mean, if he got burned on that before, and he makes a point of discussing the CBA, which is always boring in any sport, but I kind of appreciate his stubbornness in that regard. We've got Nick Farbaugh with us from Penn Live talking about the Steelers. Okay, what about some of the new additions to the Steelers this year? Some rookies. I know you're talking about Max. Am I saying it right? Ionicher?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, very impressed with him so far, right? And then anybody else catching your eye in terms of new recruits coming in?
Yeah, Maxi Honachor has looked phenomenal. His footwork is just great. I mean, you think he's got the soccer and basketball background, and then you make that an offensive lineman, and it just works. I mean, the footwork is phenomenal. He's got some stuff to work on with his hands and all that, but he's going up against T.J. Watt, Nick Herbig, and Alex Highsmith, and he looks like he belongs. And that's a greatest compliment you can pay to a rookie. I mean, that is not an easy draw. So he's done fantastic. And then you think about, I think people think when they say, "Oh, he played soccer," they're like, "Oh, so he's soft." It's just a thing in America, right? You think, "Oh, soccer players are soft." This guy's got a mean streak, and he'll just bury guys in the dirt. So he's been really good. There have been some other really solid rookies. I think Dalen Everett, the corner out of Georgia, has been really good. He was a team captain for Kirby Smart down there in Athens. He's been fantastic. I've had multiple people in the organization tell me he's the best rookie they have, and so he's been phenomenal. And then some of these new guys that they brought in, I think Michael Pittman has been really good for them as just this underneath kind of target. They didn't really have that last year. He's looked pretty good. I think that they really, really like what they're seeing from most of their defensive guys that they've had. Jamel Dean, a corner, has had some good battles with DK Metcalf, and I think you're seeing his physicality. I think you're seeing Sebastian Joseph Day, a really underrated defensive lineman they got from the Rams. You're seeing him kind of come in and add to that line. So they have some of these really good players, but I think the one they're most excited about is Jaquan Brisker from Pittsburgh, comes home. I've never seen a guy be more vocal in a walkthrough. They did a glorified walkthrough last Friday, and this guy was yelling, screaming, telling everyone to get into place. It's just like I've never seen someone that vocal, but Jaquan Brisker is really good, and I think they're seeing that already. He has made an impact on multiple plays, and this defense looks pretty solid. But Brisker, I think, is the leader of that kind of mojo on that side of the football.
I like that little swag, goes a long way. Nick Farbaugh with us from Penn Live. He's our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Okay, areas of concern for the Steelers this season, in your opinion, Nick?
Well, I think one thing is, we talk about that offensive line. They're young. they're going to have some, I think, growing pains here. And so, they lost Isaac Seumalo. Roderick Jones probably not going to start because of that neck injury. He's back, but he looks like he's 15, 20 pounds off from even playing. So he's someone that's probably out of the equation. So you're going to have a new right tackle. You're probably going to have a new right guard. It could be two rookies in Jennings Dunker and Maxi Honachor. That's going to be growing pains. And with a 42, to be 43-year-old quarterback, that's a little bit concerning. Even if he doesn't get hit, they're going to get the ball out really fast. And I would be concerned, where's the big plays coming from? Where's the explosiveness coming from? Because throwing the ball down the sideline to DK Metcalf and hoping he catches 50-50 balls isn't an answer. You can't reliably do that consistently. So I think that's one area of concern. I think another area of concern is, how does this new defense meld together? I think they have a ton of talent. You look at it completely, but last year they totally underperformed. I mean, 17th in points per game. I think they were like 20th in yards per game. This was not a good defense last year. It was a very middle of the pack defense, despite having that. And they have a lot of older guys as TJ Watt continue to age. Jalen Ramsey's hurt right now. He's going to be ready for week 1, but is he 100%? He's going to be a big part of what they want to do in the slot and what he kind of brings to the table. He plays slot, he plays outside, he plays safety. He does all these different things. So Ramsey's going to be a really important piece of this. And if he's not healthy, they're in trouble. And I think the other thing is the inside linebackers. I'll tell you what, the Steelers' inside linebackers were like a roller coaster last year. You never knew if you were getting the high peaks or you were going all the way down to the bottom of the valley. Patrick Queen is a perfect encapsulation of what they have here, because he is like Houdini. He's Jekyll and Hyde. You just don't know what you're getting every week. So those inside linebackers have to play well. If they don't, the Steelers are still going to be struggling in the middle of the field, which is a big part of what really sunk them last year defensively from being a better unit.
Nick, I'm going to dip into our text line for this next question. It's coming in from Slurpy Sean. He says, how does Rico Dowdle look?
Dowdle looks good. This guy is a big back. I mean, he's a big running back. You look at him and you would say, are you sure he's a running back? Like, he looks like he could be a linebacker. And he is big, burly, running through between the tackles. He and Jaylen Warren are going to be maybe the most physical running back duo in the National Football League. And so those guys have kind of split 50-50. I know a lot of people are asking me, oh, what's the split? Because fantasy implications. Y'all want to know if you need to draft Rico Dowdle or Jaylen Warren. But they've split it really well. And Warren is a guy that's done a lot of the passing down stuff. So if you're in one of those, PPR leagues where you get, half a point or even a point, I put 30 on my roster. But Rico Dowdle is going to get a lot of carries. So there's all that. He probably gets goal line work, so he's probably going to get touchdowns. But Rico Dowdle looks really good. I think they have a really good 1-2 punch. In some games, I think they're just going to ride the hot hand to who's playing better that week. And sometimes it'll look more like Warren. Sometimes it'll look more like Dowdle. But I think Warren's going to get a lot of the passing down stuff because he's good in pass pro and he's a really good receiver. So these two running backs are going to be a big part of this offense. But Rico Dowdle looks more than fine.
All right, Nick, big picture in the AFC North this year. How are the Steelers going to stack up in your opinion? Like, who's going to compete? Is it going to be Baltimore competing with them? What will Cincinnati look like? I'm not even going to be concerned about the Browns and not even bring them up. So is this another year where they should be at the top of the AFC North easily?
I don't think so. I think they're the third best team in the North, frankly, to me. I think the Ravens, had a down year last year, but Jesse Minter coming in is going to give them a new, fresh kind of coat of paint. They look really good. I think that roster woefully underachieved what they should have been last year. They got a lot of injuries in that roster last year, too. Kyle Hamilton was in and out of the lineup. Marlon Humphrey was hurt. It's not a great team, but it's good enough to where that should be like a 11 to 12 win roster. Really, to me, the Bengals are the team to watch in the North. I think they have a shot to win this because that defense doesn't even have to be good. They could just be average. They might have a shot to win 12 games as long as Joe Burrow stays healthy. That's going to be the big thing. Burrow doesn't stay healthy, this goes out the window. But, I mean, think about what they did, adding Dexter Lawrence, adding Jonathan Allen, adding Brian Cook. They added so many pieces of the defense, and their pass rush now actually has a shot to be decent. Like, it should be fine. So I think that's a real plus for them is this defense should be at least okay. It's not going to be good. They still have a lot of holes, but they don't need to be good. They just need to be average. If they can do that, I think they're plucky. But I do think the Steelers aren't far off from any of them, if even. I would expect like a split for both those teams. I think 1-1, 1-1, 2-2 overall with the Ravens and the Bengals makes a lot of sense. The Steelers, though, are playing that first place schedule, so they have a harder schedule. With the Texans are on their radar. They play the Eagles. They play the Broncos. Like it's a lot. It's a hard schedule. They play the Patriots. Like it's not an easy schedule that they have this year. They have a lot of easy teams, but so do the Ravens and the Bengals. Most of those easy teams are teams that the whole division plays. And so I do think the Steelers are probably destined again for like 10-7, make the wild card round. And I don't think they're going to be a bad team at all. I think they're going to be a pretty good team, but I think it's going to be hard pressed to see them getting up, 12 wins, which is what I think it'll take to win this division. Because I think the Ravens and the Bengals are going to be pretty formidable.
It's going to be interesting to see how things pan out. We'll see what Aaron Rodgers brings to the table. Good to see he's in midseason form with his mouth, and then we'll see how he is on the field this season. A guy in his 40s slinging the ball for the Steelers. Hey, Nick, this was awesome. Thanks for the time today. Enjoy the rest of camp. Maybe we're catching up during the season.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Tom. Appreciate it.
There you go. Nick Farbaugh from Penn Live. Great stuff from him. He's our headliner of the day. Brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing. Draining clogged pipes like three-pointers. For all your plumbing needs, go to mrrooter.ca. Awesome. I used to really like Rodgers, boys, and I watched that Netflix series on him, and I'm like, I can't anymore.
Like the ayahuasca one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't even bring myself. I just think he's just so pompous. And the issue with, let me start over. The reason I think people give him a lot of leeway on his antics and his cockiness and all these things, it turns off some, myself included.
Yep.
But the reason others are okay with it and say he's allowed to is because he backs it all up. Like, he is one of the best quarterbacks of all time, certainly one of the best of his generation. Just the one Super Bowl ring, right? He eventually developed more of a reputation for losing in the NFC Championship game. But then this goes back to a conversation Connor and I had yesterday. Like, do championship rings really do they weigh heavily when gauging a player's standing in the all-time discussion, especially in the ultimate team sports like football, hockey, and baseball to an extent, I think, as well, where you say, okay, well, Rodgers, you can't deny the talent. You can't deny the results, the numbers, all these things. The Packers never drafted a first-round wide receiver for him. They drafted quarterbacks before they drafted receivers. They drafted replacements for him before they drafted offensive help.
Correct.
Right? Like, there were always things around it that said it's not necessarily, his fault. Now, he didn't always play the best in some of those championship games, but I think most of the time he certainly gave his team a chance to win. So that is where I think some of the intrigue around Rodgers comes from, that says, yeah, he's a really good player and he's not afraid to let you know it, and he's not afraid to talk his stuff about it either. So now in these later stages where it's gotten a little bit more on the political side and stuff, I think it's worn thin on more people than it ever has. But some people like it. Some people like that he speaks his mind and isn't afraid to say what he thinks, even if he knows it will probably be unpopular.
It's entertaining, certainly. What I found interesting in that documentary was he was talking about when they won the Super Bowl, and he was celebrating, and I'm paraphrasing. I hope I'm remembering it correctly, but essentially he said he had a moment where he looked around and he goes, this is it? Like it didn't live up to the hype in his mind or something like that, where he's just like, this is it. I won the Super Bowl. Now what, kind of thing. I thought that was really interesting. I understand to a certain extent what he means by that, but still, you just won the freaking Super Bowl, man. You're the tippy top of the sports mountain. And that kind of, I think, was a tell to his mindset, character, all of that. Couple texts here before we go to break. Derek says, championships matter. The best win championships. If McDavid doesn't win 2 to 3 cups, he won't ever be considered a top 5 player. Derek. And I think that's a valid point. Kenneth says, Rodgers not refusing to leave the field against Tampa in the playoffs instead of going for a completely useless field goal should make him not an all-time great. Beaumont Garrett chiming in. Aaron Rodgers, second best of all time, doing more with less, with TB12 being number 1. The Packers never drafted weapons for him, like you said, Brando. A lot of the hate comes from his views on politics because he shares controversial views on COVID and vaccines, etc. I'll take an outspoken, interesting athlete all day over a boring snore like McDavid. That's from Beaumont. Garrett?
And that's such a fine line to walk because we always say, Tom, especially when we're covering so much more hockey than these other sports, being in Edmonton, you know, we lambast these players for just rolling out the same cliches, the same boring stuff. And then as soon as an athlete does speak their mind, like Rogers, we seem to jump all over it.
How dare he?
And so, like, you can't have it both ways. And listen, this isn't me on some soapbox. I'm absolutely as guilty of it as anybody. But I do think that there are certain ways that you can be a good interview, give introspective answers, and actually have thought into them, instead of just trotting out the same 3 lines in repetition every interview you do. And then also going to the point where you're running your own agenda, for maybe lack of a better term here, every chance you get in front of a microphone, which is where I think Rogers has crossed that line a little bit.
Good point.
Because some of his comments on the McAfee show, he absolutely has a right to, including he was critical of the ESPN not covering the Vrabel and Rossini stuff from this summer very extensively because, you know, Rossini's a former employee and Vrabel's a very prominent head coach. They don't want to rustle feathers inside the Patriots organization, I'm sure, yada, yada, yada. But then he also said, he's like, yeah, why aren't you guys covering Fauci's hearings in Congress? And it's like, what does that have to do with ESPN at all?
Nothing.
And I'm not necessarily a hardliner on saying you have to keep sports and politics separate, because history's shown us that they interweave and they overlap a lot.
Yes.
Right? Throughout the Cold War between Canada and the United States and obviously the Soviet Union.
Well, Jesse Owens.
Right? And then look at this past year with the tension between Canada and the United States on a political front and how that spilled over into a really reignited rivalry between the two countries on a sporting landscape. And some of it's healthy, some of it a little bit less so. That's the nature of it. So it's basically to me, it's such a fine line, because I think there's space for that type of stuff, but I don't want it to be everything. Right. And maybe that's me asking too much, as I just said, wanting to have my cake and eat it too. But that's just kind of where I land on it. And Rogers has kind of pushed a little bit far to the one side of it for me.
Yeah, he just doesn't care. He'll say whatever.
Yeah.
It's obviously Mike from Argyle gets the last word. Says, Tom, Steelers, top of the AFC North easily. Roll eyes emoji. Yeah,
I wasn't going to say it, Tom. And
I could have said easily.
I've got an in or out topic about the AFC North as well that we'll get to in the 9 o'clock hour. We can dive into that a little bit more if we want to.
Mike's clearly a Ravens or Cincinnati fan. Maybe
he's a Browns fan.
Oh, gross. No, he isn't. There's only one.
I don't know
Browns
if you heard,
fan.
Tom, but it's an open competition at quarterback for the Browns in camp here.
Great. Great. Even when I said easily, I'm like, that's not a good throwaway word there. But I'm sorry, Mike. I'm an NFC West guy. I don't really pay much attention. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I think that was a good text. Appreciate that. We're going to step out for a quick breather. When we come back, more of the discussion around football, anything else you guys want to hit on. We do have a lot going on. No Schlemmer today, unfortunately. He's not feeling well, but more discussion on the way here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
I finished a 5K in 94th place, right after a man wearing jeans. Then a volunteer gave me a medal. But I don't want participation trophies, unless they're from Bet365. With their daily prize matcher game, I win by matching gold coins, cherries, and more. Take that, denim man. Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$8:52. Quick segment here on the Gazzola Show. Tom, Brandon, Benny with you. Text us 1-833-401-1440. Let's dip into the inbox. Dip in, yeah. What?
The light.
Oh, sorry. I'm charging the light, Fenny. My bad. For those watching on YouTube, get that cord out of the way. Bench texting in. I've only known one Browns fan my entire life. Shout out to Mark W. I would normally feel bad for someone like that, but the guy shot in the 70s was a member at Sturgeon, and I'm a Cowboys fan. I don't have any room to feel sorry for anyone else but myself.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. Oh, the Cowboys.
He's not wrong. But at least the Cowboys have had success.
They have. Now, the Browns were good in the 50s? 60s?
It's not even this iteration of the franchise.
I know. The only Browns fan I know is Jack Michaels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Very
even as a
staunch.
PA guy? He's crossing the border. Like it's I don't know what part of Pennsylvania Jack is from.
Western Pennsylvania. So he's from a town called Meadville. And it is equidistant, as he likes to say, to Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. It's kind of like
so
middle.
He's just a lakefront guy.
Yeah, so
he loves the lake.
So he could like the Penguins. He grew up liking the Penguins right? Because he was an hour and a bit away from there. Chose the Browns because he wasn't too far from Cleveland. And then like kept tabs on the Sabres and the Bills. So, and he kind of kicks himself for choosing the Browns, but he sticks with them. Like I do with the Cardinals.
And that's the respectable point.
Right.
Here, right? You make your decision, you ride it out for better or for worse. I became a Texans fan because of the first Madden game I got. And the player I created, that's who he got drafted to. And at that time, they were not a bad team. This was like Andre Johnson, Matt Schaub, just before Arian Foster came in and led the league in scores,
was
right?
Carr their quarterback?
No, it was Schaub. Schaub was the QB at that time.
Right.
This was post Carr. And then obviously J.J. Watt comes in and
he was awesome.
DeAndre Hopkins, right? Like they've had a run of
awesome.
They've always had at least one really good player, like league-wide recognized good player. And then forever it was just a foregone conclusion they would lose Saturday afternoon in the wild card round because they'd win or usually win the bad AFC South or grab a wild card spot when the Colts were still a little bit better.
Yeah.
And now they just lose the next weekend. Baby steps. 3 straight years, CJ Stroud wins a playoff game. This is progress for the Texans franchise. Now, still never been to a championship game.
Yeah.
Obviously never been to a Super Bowl. Going hand in hand with that. This could be the year. The defense is the best in the league.
Okay. Did they bring back Clowney?
Yeah. Former number 1 overall pick in the draft where I, as a Texans fan at that time, was so naive and dumb. Admit I was 18 or 19. And I was like, draft Johnny Manziel first overall.
Oh, boy.
Do it.
Oh, boy.
I was essentially Jerry Jones, where they would have had to lock me in a room away from the stage to stop me from getting up there and saying the Houston Texans, or in turn Dallas Cowboys, are proud to select from Texas A&M Johnny Manziel.
Damn.
I was just in love with his highlights from A&M. I'm like, this guy's the real deal. And maybe he could have been if he ever cared or gave a crap.
Or looked at the playbook.
That's what I mean, right? Like
film.
you at that level, I'm sorry. I don't care if you're Jamarcus Russell, Kyler Murray, Johnny Manziel. You can't get by on talent alone.
No.
You just can't. It's impossible. Everyone's too good. You got to put in the work. And those 3 guys, now Kyler's had a lot more success than either of those 2.
Right.
And you got to give him credit for that for sure. But why did it not work out in Arizona? Why is he on a new team? Why did the Cardinals never really crest that level of success that was expected?
Yeah.
With him as the new franchise guy? Well, I think there's a lot of reports as to why that was the case. And I think commitment and dedication to that side of the game is a very strong proponent.
Yep. Absolutely. Like all the talent in the world. Manziel had a lot of talent as well. Did you watch his documentary?
Yeah, the Untold one.
Yeah.
See, I liked that one a lot. Definitely more than the Swamp Kings one, which was disappointing because I was looking forward to that Gators one so much. It just essentially turned into an Urban Meyer prop film.
Yeah, no thanks.
Which was a little disappointing. I've enjoyed and I've enjoyed so many of those Untolds on Netflix.
They're great.
And the Manziel one in particular was one of the better recent ones that I've seen.
Like he definitely has some demons, obviously.
Yeah, I think so.
His time in the CFL was kind of fascinating. Like there seemed like there was a willingness for him to try at least, but he just didn't have it. Yeah, interesting. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Highly recommend it. And I don't think it was that long too. It was like what, 48 minutes maybe?
Mm-hmm.
They're not always that long. Those, I mean, they're docs, but they're not.
Because there's some of them that go like a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones that are just a singular, like I said, 45-minute type deal.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that about the makers of them, where they say like not everyone has to follow the same format or structure.
Yep.
Like just tell the story. However long it takes, if you got to break it up, if you got to stretch it, shrink it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't need a lot of fluff. I don't need a lot of filler. Give it to me straight. And the first couple seasons, I guess you'd call it, of it, They had no misses.
No.
They were all nails. And then whether it was the third or fourth year, I can't remember when, that was that the Swamp Kings, the Manziel, and a couple others that elude my brain at this exact
The
moment.
Monte Teo one, too.
That one was awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
So good.
Crazy.
And when that happened, I was still in high school, I think, if I'm lining up my years correctly, right at the end. And so I wasn't like into college football, but that still made waves. Like that, we talked about it amongst my friend group in Delburn because it's just all over the news that this guy has a made-up girlfriend.
Yep.
That had died.
Yep.
But was never real. And it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Awesome. That was probably one of my favorites of the Untolds for sure.
And we're not going to spoil it or give anything away by saying this, but that made-up girlfriend that he got catfished by was actually a guy.
Was a man.
Who is now a woman.
Yeah.
And I was at that game in Oklahoma against Notre Dame when all of that was going on.
You were there?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. It was crazy.
You were probably in the background of one of the shots.
No, I was way like 3 rows up from the top deck. But that game was insane. I met Barry Switzer that day.
Nice.
Y'all want to meet Coach? Which one? Barry Switzer. Yeah, sure. They were doing a documentary on him as well. Big camera crew following him around. A couple of texts before we go to a sports update with Brando. Brad, the driver, says, is Manziel still playing? No. I think he flamed out after his time in the CFL. He played in that league where I think it was like a one and done season where fans could call in the plays. I believe. Do you remember that?
I can't remember what it's called, but I do remember.
And he got a concussion. And basically he was done. The Rig says the Browns were decent in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Brian Fan says Browns fans remember Jim Brown, the greatest fullback in Ohio. Yeah, legend. Yeah, but that was so long ago. So long ago. And then there's a few big texts that I'm not going to have time to read. This one says the Tom Gazzola show is fire. Thank you. First time texter. Appreciate that. We will continue to burn it up. Let's go. Tommy T says, then Johnny fought Bob Memory. He fought Bob Memory?
I'll admit I didn't watch it.
Like
and I don't know who Bob Memory is.
Is Bob Memory the guy that
knew
did
Manziel was doing some sort of combat sports.
Isn't he the guy that did like the fake voiceovers of crazy plays in sports?
Really?
I think that's Bob Memory.
Is it Memory or Memory? I've got Josh is looking on the screen. See, I've never seen this guy before. I don't know who he is, but it sounds like he could be right.
He would do like a voiceover of like big plays and
so
it was like viral clips.
Sort of like John Boy?
Well, John Boy, like at least it wasn't a joke. John Boy like tells you what happened.
Yeah, John Boy does like the lip reading and stuff like that.
John Boy's awesome.
Yeah. Like Bob Memory will just like the call will start out normal. You know, like the famous Nick Castellanos call where he's like,
right.
It's basically like that every time, except it goes in the inverse. Castellanos high fly ball in right field, and then he'll just like go off the rails like, oh my God, he hit a grandma and did that, what like
F bombs and stuff.
This has weirdly not crossed my timeline.
Some of it
probably will now that I've searched it.
My buddy
and yes, apparently they fought back on May 23rd.
Wow.
Manziel versus Menery.
Who won?
Don't know. Don't care.
All right. Well, let's get to a sports update brought to you by AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. AWSwelding.ca. Here is Bob Memory. I'm kidding. Here's Brando.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays losing in Houston last night 7-2 at the hands of the Astros. And worse news for Toronto as Yesavage, departing his start after just 2 innings pitched, tweaked his left knee, throwing his warm-ups for the 3rd inning. I expected to undergo an MRI today. Across the rest of the majors, Tarek Skubal's first start as a Dodger ends up as a loss. They fall to the Cubs 5-1 despite solid 6 innings of work. The Red Sox beat up on Chicago White Sox 14-2. Mariners get blanked by the Tigers 8-0, and the Yankees sneak one out past the Cardinals 2-0. WCL action last night from Bellingham. The Edmonton Riverhawks' penultimate game of the regular season is a loss at the hands of the Bells 4-3. And Helenka Gretzky Cup action from downtown Edmonton yesterday. Canada defeating Slovakia 6-1 to secure top spot in the pool. Elsewhere, Czechia over Germany 8-3. Switzerland tops Sweden in a high-scoring affair 7-6. And the nightcap, United States beating Finland 4-1. Coming up in hour 3 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News covering the Sabres, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Get the lowdown with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. He's seen it all and then some. From stats to stories, he breaks it down like no one else. Proud to be Edmonton's sports leader. Sports 1440.
Alberta, this one's for you. Around here, trust takes a few winters. It's why players have known Jackpot City since 1998. Home to hundreds of exciting casino games, live dealer action, and new adventures waiting to be discovered. Jackpot City, nothing beats the original. Please play responsibly, 18 years or older, Alberta only.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
The Tom Gazzola Show. 60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Ah, yes, the dulcet tones of Chad Kroeger of Nickelback. That is Hero from the 2002 Major Motion soundtrack and picture Spider-Man. Bookending this show to a certain extent.
Starring
Tobey
Maguire, Kirsten Dunst,
James Franco.
Alfred Molina is in the next one. Yeah. Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
And one of the Francos. James.
Is James in hiding, or is he canceled now? He did some weird stuff, didn't he? Bad stuff.
James is?
Yeah.
Is Dave Franco's the one married to Allison Brie, right?
Correct.
Lucky gun.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, she is lovely.
No, he was doing some weird stuff out of his acting school. James Franco.
Like some Army Hammer type weird stuff?
No, that's really weird.
No, that's really weird stuff. Or like that's the different kind of weird stuff. He was doing very illegal sexual things via his acting school.
You're James Franco, man. You don't need to be doing that.
But he felt he simply had to, I guess.
Benny, thank you for that tidbit of
You're welcome, just so everyone knows.
You know, he had so many good things going for him. I think I saw a headline about him claiming he had UFO footage on one of, maybe he was doing like a TikTok live or Instagram live. I don't know. You lost me, Franco. Dave Franco, on the other hand, very funny. And Allison Brie. Annie from Community. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's great. It's hour number 3 of the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by our good friends over at Bet365. Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365 is available in Alberta and here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Quick headline. Live will be back next year. 10 events, 5 majors. Somebody out there is willing to invest $250 to $300 million to keep Live Golf alive.
Well, you'll have to talk about this on Friday with Gary, because we talked about it last week with the cancellation of this year's final event, and it looked like I don't know if this necessarily takes it off the ropes, but they'll be back out for another round in this, boxing match of professional golf.
I thought they were just done. Enough already. And if you had that kind of money, why are you spending it on Live Golf?
They believe in the format, make golf louder. Golf but louder. I think that's the motto, right? They like shorts.
It didn't work.
So I talked about this with Gary a little bit. Do you think there's anything to it for just the organization itself, like the league, saying we just have to keep ourselves alive until we can actually get this merger with the PGA that has been ongoing for 3 years now, and seems that no single progress report has ever been made?
Nothing.
So if you're the PGA, you probably think, well, we'll just wait them out because it's pretty clear that they're dying on the vine, dead on the vine, maybe more appropriately. But Live are thinking, no, let's just keep keeping it on life support and try and get this hammered out where we do actually merge. Let them wear shorts.
Okay, like the shorts thing, I know you're saying it in jest, but I don't mind some of the stuff Liv has done.
What does a PGA Tour player wearing shorts change about the game of golf?
Nothing. It just goes, it's not traditional.
I'd be willing to lay it out there that even the most blowhard, old school, playing it by the letter of the law rule book, when you're out on Sunday around with your buddies, wear shorts when they play.
Absolutely.
At least once a year. Even I wear shorts when I play golf sometimes.
Good. Be comfortable.
I'm not a shorts guy. Well, that's the thing. I don't really feel comfortable in shorts.
Is it your calves?
I actually think I have pretty nice calves.
Oh, okay.
And my legs they're fine. They're strong. They're scarred.
Go ahead, Fenny.
Sports radio, and we're talking about his.
What you want me to show you my legs?
No, that's okay.
No, I'm gonna get them up here on the desk.
Keep those puppies holstered, all right?
People can see them on the feed. They can check out my calves for
maybe
themselves.
that's why he doesn't feel comfortable in shorts.
Perhaps.
They're simply a chick magnet.
My calves are too
Look
seductive.
out, ladies. Look out.
That would be more logical. I'm not like Donovan out here with a couple 150-yard markers.
No, that is poor guy. Poor guy. It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
You think they got tanned at
We've
all?
all seen them in those photos.
It's
Guys got to get some calf lifts going or something.
Think he got tanned at all?
Him?
Yeah.
Where did he go again?
150-yard Toronto.
In Toronto?
Right. Does he baseball?
Correct.
So they only went to 2 games, I think.
2 games, one in the stands with all the other fans, then once his bigwigs in the
Right.
box.
Nice.
Whose box was he in?
Andrew Walker's.
Nice.
Well, and the people Andrew
Attaboy,
Walker
Walker.
rubbed shoulders with anyway.
Correct.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Anyway, shorts on the PGA would be fine. The LPGA has allowed it, have they not? For years.
Well, the LPGA, they can wear shorts, obviously golf skirts.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to wear sleeveless.
Oh, that's right.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I know that's a big contention. That was one of Kevin Carey's rare progressive thoughts on the game of golf, that he thinks men should be allowed to wear sleeveless shirts on the golf course.
Honestly.
But do they still have to have a collar, though?
You know what?
I have a dress shirt I cut sleeves off, and I wear it to the odd party. Now, this is more in my younger years, like when I'm going to like a camping weekend, beer Olympics, and I show up there with my cut off sleeve dress shirt.
Yeah, no, we'll leave that one.
Get the guns out.
We'll leave that one. No cutoff shirts for the guys on the PGA or live. Shorts are fine. Like, well, who was the last guy to wear knickers? That was Payne Stewart. May he rest in peace. But I don't know. Like, outside of that, I don't get why you would invest $250 to $300 million in live to resuscitate it when it's basically dead. All the big names, except for DeChambeau, who led a players-only meeting on Tuesday, is the only one like kicking around. Who else? Oh, John Rahm.
Rahm's still there? There's still quite like the only confirmed defector still is Koepka, isn't it?
I thought someone else went back.
There's a good chance that's true, but is it who? No, DJ.
No,
still,
DJ's retired.
DJ keeps
basically.
wearing that hat that I think is the Alabama logo, but it's actually the Four Aces logo.
That's right. Yeah. Norman at Combine says, boys, get Tom to show you his short shorts. It's disturbing.
What kind of inseam are you running, Tom?
6 to 8 inches. But they ride up.
Is that short?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
They're not, once you like stand up, they're not egregiously short.
But when you sit down, you're like, ugh, there's a lot of thigh exposed here.
There certainly is.
Yeah.
No shame.
But I think that's the way now, right?
Yep.
I think it's gone too far in what I see some men wearing for how short their shorts are. But
Look,
to each their own.
We don't need to see guys in culottes.
No.
No, thank you.
I wouldn't think so.
No culottes, please. Brian texting in, Liv is Saudi backed. Not anymore. That has changed.
Turns out a lot of the Saudis' funds, they needed to appropriate them elsewhere. And I'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Liv has, they're not Saudi funded. That's why they were on life support. The PIF pulled out, and that's why we're starting to see guys jump back over to the PGA. So they were Saudi backed. They probably pumped a couple billion into it. Good swing, but didn't take. Nail says, wear kilt and long socks. You would have to be accepted. That's traditional. It's Scottish. And then Grazer says the PGA Tour is an absolute train wreck. They are so far behind in the Stone Age. I haven't watched a PGA Tour event in 10 years. Now, that's one thing that Liv has kind of done a good job of, is forcing the PGA to adapt and evolve a bit. Not a ton. They bolstered the purses. They created TGL. And they did a few little things here and there. But basically, Liv has become the WHA or the ABA of golf, essentially. Or the USFL of football. See you later. I don't know why you'd put $300 million into the Live Golf Tour. But apparently that's happened. 10 events next year, 5 majors. I don't know how you make half of your events majors. And how can you call your events majors when you have a 3-year history? It's a bit silly to me. Anyway, I'm done. I'll get off the soapbox. Coming up next, we have Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News. We'll talk about the Sabres offseason, talk a little baseball with Mike. It's going to be great. Keep it locked on 1440. This is the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Cougar Paint and Collision is Edmonton's go-to for auto body repairs, but client requests sometimes go off the rails.
Once you start doing the oddball things for people, it sometimes becomes second nature. One of the strangest things that we painted at the shop was a set of stairs for a mansion, and we had to paint 42 steel stringer stairs. Yeah, it was strange. Somebody doesn't think to go, wow, I need my stairs painted. Let's go to an auto body shop.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Legendary is here with BetMGM Casino. Download now to check out over 4,000 casino games, including exclusive slots like Survivor and hundreds of live dealer games. Unlock Vegas magic and sign up for the BetMGM app. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the pro press fitting to my copper pipe.
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Caesars is Alberta's anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Stay in the action with your favorite teams and players. Whether you're camping, kayaking, or catching a show this summer, bet wherever you are, whenever you want. Plus, Caesars Sportsbook offers fast payouts and flex parlays, a new way to keep your bet alive even if a pick misses. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today.
Must be 18 or older and physically present in Alberta to gamble. Must be 21 or older to use Caesars Sportsbook. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. Please play responsibly.
The Tom Gazzola Show. All gas, no brakes. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
'24. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It is the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Text us if you want to get in on the conversation. Lots of discussion about shorts and the golf course and live, surprisingly. I'm very surprised about that, but keep the conversation going. 1-833-401-1440. We're going to switch gears back to hockey. We're going to talk a little bit of Sabres stuff. We'll talk a little baseball with Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News. And maybe even dip into some Bill stuff because I am a stadium geek and kind of curious how the new stadium's looking in Buffalo. Let's bring Mike in. Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News. Mike, good morning. Hope you're doing well, man. How is that new stadium in Buffalo looking? I saw a couple of videos on it, but have you had a chance to get down there and take an actual look at it firsthand?
Good morning, Tom. Yeah, no, I have not been inside yet. I will be inside for the first preseason game next week. I've driven and walked around it quite a bit and during the construction and now with the construction over. It's going to be spectacular. Natural grass. About 70% of the seating bowl is covered. They have an elaborate snow melting system for the canopy roof. They have a heated field. They have open concourses so fans can follow the game. They have all sorts of, like you would expect, incredible premium areas. So it's a huge upgrade from a relatively Spartan 50-year-old facility to something brand new. And, we'll see how it works out. The first game is regular season-wise is a Thursday nighter on Amazon against the Detroit Lions. So that'll be quite an event in the history of this town.
Yeah, and you know what's cool? I like the technology, and they can put ways to melt snow into the field and all of that as well. There's that technology and the hybrid grass. I don't know if they did that at the new Highmark Stadium, but there was a bit of charm to seeing people in Buffalo getting out shovels and going to old Highmark Stadium and shoveling out the snow. But I mean, you're right. Like it's time to move on, and the money was invested. But are a lot of people still nostalgic about the old stadium, or do you think they'll be like, no, we're moving it to the new century here, and it's all good?
They're nostalgic about the old stadium, but they also are understanding the economic realities of pro sports in the 2020s. We're dealing with that right now with KeyBank Center with the Sabres is going to be the next project here. They need a lot of premium upgrades. There's a lot of the NHL arenas from the 90s have either been replaced or heavily renovated. That has not happened here. So people are pretty attuned to the realities of the situation, even though they can still be nostalgic about the old Highmark Stadium.
Yeah, what are they going to do at KeyBank Center? Because I liked it. Every time I went to cover a game there, like it has a great vibe to it. It's big. I mean, the fans are awesome in Buffalo. It's nice that they're finally being rewarded with some good hockey and a solid team. But what are they trying to do there?
They haven't really formulated plans yet. I know there's some architectural studies being done. There are things they can do to brighten it up. They can open their 300-level concourse, maybe get some windows out to the lakefront like we've seen in places like Pittsburgh and Philly and Vegas. More premium offerings, of course. The bones of the structure are really good. It opened in 1996. They can do some more renovation in the service level. And just, I think arenas are getting away from 20,000 seats, and they're doing more things in terms of gathering spaces for fans. You see some of the huge bars in Edmonton is a good example. You see the gathering spots in the upper deck in Tampa, and now what they're doing in Carolina. So there's going to be more ideas along those lines in a lot of these arenas, and I think Buffalo is going to be another example of it.
Yeah, that's going to be good to see. I like watching the evolution of arenas. I mean, yeah, Utah as well. They're basically building a new arena within the arena, which is fascinating. So for the arena geeks like me, or stadium geeks, it's cool to see the evolution. And I'm curious to see what they do in Buffalo. Okay, on the ice, Mike, though, it was a very nice season for the Sabres, and that came after many years of disappointment. We here in Edmonton fully understand what went on and how things went in Buffalo and the sentiment that Sabres fans felt. What is the expectation going into this year? Is this sustainable? Is this team good enough? How do you look at this season after what happened last year in Buffalo?
Well, you look at it in two ways. Is they think it's sustainable, and I think it is too. They've got a really good core. And then you look at it also, they did lose Owen Byram and Alex Tuck, and especially Alex Tuck. That's a huge loss in terms of hockey and in terms of just leadership in the locker room. And they've signed long-term guys like Josh Doan and Zach Benson to help fill some of that. Konsta Helenius, young guy who we saw the end of the season, scored the golden goal for Finland in the World Championships, is going to be counted on to play a full season here. So they may take a little bit of a step back, but I don't think it's a big step back team. It's a 109-point team last year. Maybe it's only a 101-point team this year, but it's not going to suddenly drop into the 80s. I don't think by any stretch the Sabres were a flash in the pan here. They were one goal away from the Eastern Conference Final against the Carolina Hurricanes, and they feel this is who they are now.
Mike, why, when you look back on last year, did everything change after the Kevin Adams firing? Because it just seemed to spur them on. Like, is it just the weight of the world came off their shoulders? Like, when you reflect on that, why was that the thing that spurred them on?
I think they just felt they were in the league now. The front office didn't necessarily have their back. There wasn't a lot of experience in the front office. And, the day the change happened, I remember Rasmus Dahlin talking to me about Jarmo Kekalainen. Just the first thing he said, he's been a GM in the league for 11 years. And that was instant respect. Then he announces, okay, we're going to bring in Mark Bergevin, GM of a Stanley Cup finalist team in Montreal. Then he brings in Josh Flynn, and he brings in Stacey Roos. And now recently they just hired as a senior advisor John Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, the Buffalo Sabres have a lot of experience in the front office. And that's something they have not had. They've been the youngest team in the league. They've also been, for most of this time, the youngest and most inexperienced front office in the league. And that's all changing at once, and it's really creating this evolution in the franchise.
I'm glad you brought up John Davidson. And I was reminded of that because when we were going over Davidson's hiring by the Sabres, Mike, it's like, why does John Davidson want to keep doing this? And what will his role be, and what can he contribute? I know you want to have a great lineup and stacked front office, because a lot of experience, especially when that experience works hand in hand well with one another, can provide the right leadership and culture. But why is John Davidson the guy that they wanted to bring in Buffalo, and what can he provide to them, in your opinion?
Well, the relationship is there from Columbus with Jarmo Kekalainen, and I think it keeps an experienced guy like Davidson in the game, and he's just a senior advisor. He's going to serve the role Kekalainen served under Kevin Adams. He's just another set of eyes and ears, and they have not had enough eyes and ears in this organization, Tom, in a long time. And now, you could say, oh, there's too many eyes and ears some organizations might have, but these people know hockey. They've been in the game a long time, and it's something the Sabres just haven't had. And to get experienced hockey men who want to be here because they see this team as a potential long-term sustainable franchise is really important.
Mike Harrington with us from the Buffalo News. Talk about the Sabres, all things Buffalo sports as well. And one guy I wanted to ask you about was Owen Power, because we heard his name in some trade rumors, and obviously defensemen are hard to develop, and guys take different amount of games to find their level and to reach their potential. And I'm curious how he fits in with the Sabres going forward now. Like, is he still a long-term solution for this team, or could they move on from him? How would you describe his kind of arc, in all of this?
I think it was pure silliness, people talking about Owen Power as a name that could move this offseason. It was clear to everybody here that the guy moving was Bowen Byram, simply because of the contract situation. And what we saw on the ice last year was really a tremendous upgrade in the play of Owen Power, especially the second half of the year and through the playoffs. This is a guy who was the number one overall pick in the NHL, and he started now to play a different game last year. His defensive game improved, his offensive game, his skill set, his passing was really there, and you're starting to see why he can be an $8.3 million defenseman. Right. So that's a situation where you knew Byram was the guy who was going to be on the way out because he wanted to be a number one guy. He couldn't do that in Colorado with Cale Makar there. He can't do it in Buffalo with Rasmus Dahlin here. So he was going to go, and Power's locked in that second pair now. You got Dahlin and Samuelson on the first pair, Powers locked in that second pair. And boy, what we saw, especially in the playoffs against Boston and Montreal, really bodes well for Owen Power here. And you know, Tom, these defensemen, they take a long time. It took a long time for Dahlin to become Dahlin. We've always talked about it took a long time for Victor Hedman to become Victor Hedman. And Owen Power's, you know, getting on that arc now in that right time of his career.
Yep. No, very well said. A guy here, Mike, that people are kind of curious about is obviously Devin Levi. His progression, how would you describe it? I know his coach in the AHL last year called him out. I know there was probably a lot of expectation in Buffalo for him, but, you know, there was a bunch of goalies in the mix in Buffalo anyway. But what should Oilers fans expect from Devin Levi? What have you gleaned from his time in the Buffalo organization?
Well, he certainly had a shooting star kind of beginning in his career right out of college, won some games for the Sabres, almost helped them into a playoff spot in 23. He's been an AHL guy mostly the last 2 years. You know, his career and his playing style kind of mirrored Dustin Wolf in Calgary, a guy who's played over 100 AHL games. I think, you know, Levi's got a legitimate chance to help in Edmonton. I think it was time probably to go to a new organization for him. But he's behind Luukkonen and Lyon and now Colton Ellis.
Yep.
Last year here, he couldn't crack the lineup here. I think he'll have a legitimate chance to get some games in Edmonton. And, you know, he's a very cerebral goalie. He really studies the game well, loves his virtual reality sessions. You know, he's just got to keep playing. He's still young. He's got to keep getting more experience. And, you know, we'll see what happens with it. They didn't trade him because they don't like him. They traded him because they already have 3 NHL goalies ahead of him.
Well, he's on a 3-headed monster right now in Edmonton. Does he have number 1 potential in your opinion?
He didn't hear. I think at some point in the right situation he can. You know, he does need to be more consistent at times. But I like the skill set. The size could be an issue. But, you know, a lot of teams are still interested in Devin Levi, and I think he can be an NHL goalie.
We'll see how things pan out here in Edmonton. Mike Harrington with us from the Buffalo News. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk a little baseball. I know you're all over the Jays as well. Trey Yesavage goes down, I think, heading into the 3rd inning yesterday. The deadline, they offload a bunch of pieces, but then also bring in some pieces as well. Where do the Blue Jays stand, in your opinion, Mike, now after the trade deadline?
It's a disappointing season. There's no way around it. You know, Vladdy Guerrero's complete collapse is hard to really fathom, and that really is the biggest factor. But they did set themselves up for 2027. You get a guy like Soriano in your rotation. You know, you do essentially replace Kevin Gausman. I wasn't a fan of trading Arjun Nimala, their shortstop who was in AA New Hampshire, was their number 1 pick a couple years back. You didn't even get him to AAA to see what you have, but I know they love JoJo Parker, also a top pick who plays shortstop, who should be in Vancouver soon. So they have their prospects, but ultimately this is a team that's expected to be competitive and winning World Series and not last in the American League East like they are this year. It's just been a tremendously disappointing season to go from, you know, 2 outs from winning a World Series to this. But they did a good job not just dumping the farm. They did a good job resetting some things. They got some, you know, major league talent here. Soriano's a big pickup for that rotation. Now, Yesavage last night, another injury to add to this list this year. It's one of those years, but we'll see. And the other thing, any team making these moves now for next year, you don't even know what next year is going to entail with this lockout potential. So it's a tough spot for the Blue Jays to be in. The fans bought so many tickets in advance. The building's full every night, you know, and Vladdy's still talking, well, we're only 4 or 5 games out and there's 48 games left. Vladdy doesn't have a single home run at home this year, which is just almost inconceivable to me.
Yeah.
And if he's hurt, if he's got a back problem, maybe they should be shutting him down if he just can't produce anything at all. But it's just a strange year for that. And, you know, you have to chalk it up. And I hope it's not another, you know, 32 years before they get back to a World Series.
No kidding. I know that was a lot of fun to watch. So there was the Oilers and the Blackhawks during Game 7, and nobody in the press box here was watching the hockey game. So, yeah, it was crazy, Mike. It was insane, and for good reason. Okay. One last one. Let's bookend it with the Bills because we started with the Bills. Let's end it with the Bills. That gray jersey that Josh Allen was saying, quit knocking. What's your take on it?
I hate it. I'd be knocking it too. I mean, come on. I get what they're doing. I get what every team does. It's terrible. It looks, frankly, it looks, Tom, too much to me like an old Detroit Lions jersey.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I get it. Ultimately to me, there's too much talk about the Nickel City jersey. It's, can Josh Allen get this team into a Super Bowl and a situation where you have a new head coach in Joe Brady, a new defensive coordinator, a new offensive coordinator. There's a lot of question marks here now, when you moved on from Sean McDermott as the head coach. So the Bills are a fascinating team in that regard, where you have this elite quarterback, you bring in a top receiver in DJ Moore, but how does the coaching work in a year where the ownership decided to move on from the longtime head coach who had created so many playoff teams? So that's what everybody in this town is going to be watching here as we go through the preseason and start the regular season. They open on the road at Houston and then have the home opener here on Thursday, September 17th against Detroit.
Well, there's a lot of people that are Bills fans north of the border. You know that full well, and they'll be having a lot of eyes on those games, and regardless of whatever jersey they're wearing. Mike, this was awesome. Thank you. Great catching up with you. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and we'll talk during the hockey season.
All right, Tom. Thanks very much. Take care.
Mike Harrington, the Buffalo News. Awesome stuff there. A smattering of everything. In the new Highmark Stadium, they have a broken table, like a giant broken table statue, which I think is a great nod to the fan base, the Bills Mafia. Well done. If we had something like that here, what would it be?
What do you mean if? We had it, Tom.
What was it?
It was the Derek.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Good point. They brought the Derek back out of storage. They had to cut it down.
Had to lob off a piece of it.
They had to fit it under the ceiling at Ford Hall. But that is a great touch. Good reminder, too. People want the Derek back on the ice.
Is there anything else? Like, is there a new idea that people think could be of a similar ilk or notion to implement at Rogers Place?
Let us know. 1-833-4.
I was like, I'm just thinking like they don't have anything that
defines them.
That is folding table like.
Yeah.
With the Bills, right? To just the where the conversation came from. They don't have someone like that. I don't know if any hockey, like the hockey teams that do, like it's the Octopus in Detroit, right? It's I don't know. I suppose the Shark in San Jose, like it's what you're skating out to underneath, as opposed to some sort of just visual element on the concourse like the table is. But I don't know if hockey really lends itself to that in the same way.
Well, and Buffalo is very unique with the tailgating and the breaking the tables, which I think is insane. But people do it, and they do it every weekend in Buffalo. Big Easy says, a giant 50-50 ticket. Well played. Well played. People are fiends for 50-50 and Lotto in Alberta. No denying that. Well done, Big Easy. Well played indeed. All right. Great stuff from Mike Harrington out of the Buffalo News. He's awesome. He's been covering sports in Buffalo for a long time, and really appreciated having him on. When we come back, we're going to get into In or Out with Brando right here on the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout for Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus only. T's and C's apply.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout for Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
Did you know the Brick is proudly Canadian-owned and operated? We started right here in Canada over 50 years ago. Now, our 5,000 team members are proud to be your neighbor in more than 200 communities across Canada. And we support all Canadians with a growing selection of quality-made Canadian products and manufacturers. Nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us, The Brick, saving you more.
Visit thebrick.com and use our store locator to find a Brick store near you.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt-equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hey, Edmonton, thinking about your next SUV? Think Subaru. The Subaru Forester has earned an IIHS top safety pick or higher for 20 years in a row. Add legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and the 2026 JD Power Canada Best Residual Value Award among compact SUVs, and you've got an SUV that's built to protect today and hold its value tomorrow. This month, take advantage of loyalty rates as low as 0.99%. Come test drive the Forester at your local Subaru dealership today. Welcome to Uncommon.
Life doesn't always line up with Election Day. If you'll be away, busy, or just want to skip the line, you can vote by mail with a special ballot. No reason is required. Simply request your special ballot online, by phone, or from your local returning office. Just remember, completed ballots must be mailed to Elections Alberta and received by 5 p.m. on October 16th. So why wait? Find everything you need to get started at specialballot.elections.ab.ca. Be referendum ready. A message from Elections Alberta.
The Tom Gazzola Show. Oiler Insider and Jersey Aficionado. Edmonton's sports leader. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
All right, let's get into it. Time now for In or Out with Brandon Douglas. Brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton. Their annual garage sale and swap meet is Saturday, August 15th. Catch the Twin West Crew stunt team performing 2 great shows and score huge deals on parts, gear, and clothing. Find more at hdedmonton.com. Let's go, Brendo.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or are you out?
In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out?
Well, then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
Tommy, let's continue with some hockey talk and another stop on our Mount Rushmore series, summer series, if you will, with the continued cruising through the Pacific Division. The Los Angeles Kings.
Ooh.
Storied history. Coming up short a couple times. Some all-time greats suiting up in the both purple and gold and silver and black. But I think trying to take as much recency bias out as I can. Anze Kopitar, Marcel Dion, Luc Robitaille, and Jonathan Quick.
This is good.
This the last 2 spots, I think there's probably 4 or maybe even 5 different names you could put in here.
Yeah.
I think Kopitar and Dion are no-brainers.
Yeah. I'll go in on this one because, listen, Kopitar is a king through and through. The Stanley Cup championships speak for themselves. Dion, what was he? He was a top 5 in league scoring still, Or has he been knocked out of that?
He never. Let's see.
Never won a Stanley Cup. I think he started in Detroit. And then, but his heyday was with...
Dion is 6th all-time.
6th all-time,
in
okay.
points.
I'm all right with giving Marcel Dion love there. Luc Robitaille, same kind of thing. Like, he is Mr. King. I know he had a stint in Pittsburgh and with the Rangers as well. And then Detroit. And then I think he came back home to wrap things up with the Kings. Like 60 goals as a left winger.
Yeah. The thing about Dion and Robitaille, while they both do, like, you can see them in other uniforms, right?
Yeah.
They both, like, Robitaille, almost 1,100 games as a King.
Yeah.
Dion, 921. So they're still talking like 1,000-game players in that one uniform.
Right.
So the longevity inside the organization is still there. And the point production is tremendous. Dion 1307 as a King, Robitaille 1154.
Yeah. Quick. Yes, like if you have to have a goalie in all of your Mount Rushmores, then...
And I don't think you do. I don't think that is a requirement necessarily. But trying to tiptoe between Quick and Doughty as the 4th spot, if you're trying to go, 2 from the previous generation, which they never won, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both, like Kopitar, Doughty, and Quick both have the 2 Stanley Cups, and all 3 were instrumental, like pivotal in each of the wins.
The other guys I could think, Gretzky, obviously.
Gretzky deserves some consideration, but I think the period of time that he was there, even with the level of production he still had, and same thing, didn't win.
Yeah,
as a king.
Rob Blake, I think could get some love in this regard, and then obviously, like you mentioned, Doughty,
and I think Dave Taylor could get a little bit of love in this area as well. But at a certain point, you can't give it to all the old guard, with the understanding they didn't win. So between Taylor, Robitaille, and Dion, I think Taylor's a 3rd place, and as a result, falls off.
I'm in on this one because these guys all scream LA King to me.
Yeah. I thought the biggest pushback would be on Quick over Doughty.
Yeah,
but
they're from the same era, like you said.
It's tough, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's a personal thing for me about Quick, watching him play. Like, I thought he was the best goalie in the league, and certainly the best big game guy during his peak. Now Doughty's had a little bit more longevity, like life king.
Yep.
Lifer is a king, right? And this is maybe going to be his last year. So it's a tough one, a little bit of a coin. If you wanted to take off Robitaille and put Doughty and Quick on, I think there's some merit to that discussion as well.
And like, I feel like some people might bring up Dustin Brown, but they
that-
gave him a statue.
Crazy.
Outside of Crypto.com arena.
Same thing, Lifer.
Yeah.
Cups, captain.
Yeah.
And he was the captain during some of those lean years before they turned the corner.
That's right.
Right. So
that's right.
Surprisingly good list of options for the Kings. But I mean, hey, they've been around a long time. They've had some really good players roll through Southern California. More locally, the Hlinka Gretzky Cup continues from downtown Edmonton. Canada going to take on Sweden in their final preliminary round game this afternoon. 5:00 puck drop from Rogers. And Landon Dupont, projected number 1 overall pick in the upcoming draft. He alone is worth the $25 price of admission to go and take in this game, or even a game as the elimination round progresses over the weekend.
Go see the guy that's being touted as a projected number 1. $25. That's like the price of a beer next season at an Oiler game.
And a reason this stands out extra prominent for me is that he's like playing in Everett. He came here once, right?
Yeah.
In his couple of years in Everett. You don't get to see him at all. He's going to play at Michigan.
That's right.
So unless you're watching Big Ten Network hockey, which, spoiler alert, very few Oilers fans, Canadian hockey fans do, this is like you get to see him in person, and it might be the last chance to see him in a full game until, well, maybe save some World Junior action, right? And that's probably it. So I use the Schaefer reference a lot, and people are probably tired of me talking about it, but getting to see these guys play on such a smaller stage, but where they can stand out so prominently, I think there's some real merit to that, and it's something cool. I would really encourage people to do this.
Yeah.
And especially against Sweden, who's a good team this afternoon. Can't say it enough.
I'm in.
Take it in.
Yeah, if you're curious to see what he looks like up close, wearing a Canadian jersey for $25. Again, there's worse things you can spend $25 on, especially if you're a hockey nut. So I'm in on this one.
Our NFL previews today, stopping in Steel City. Aaron Rodgers making some waves earlier in the week with his comments while on the Pat McAfee show. If you were a teammate of Rodgers, you would be frustrated by his antics, actions, comments. Not because you disagree with them, but because of what it brings back onto you, your teammates, and the group as a whole for now the remainder of training camp and probably even into the regular season.
If this was Aaron Rodgers, end of Packers era, Aaron Rodgers Jets era, I would be in. But because this is Aaron Rodgers winding it down, old man yelling at clouds, I'm out. I would just be like, I don't care. If I was on that team and people say, what do you think of Aaron Rodgers saying this or that? I'd be like, he can say whatever he wants as long as he throws the ball and distributes it well and we win games. I don't care. I think we're at that point with him because let's face it, he's not going to be around much longer. So
yes,
I'm out on this one as much as I would be in if it was, a few years ago. I think too, in general, we expect Aaron Rodgers to say crazy crap. And he is.
That's
and he
true.
Does. And it's just like, yeah, there he says stuff like that. That if people are pestering other Steelers,
like, oh, what did you make of Aaron's comments on the McAfee show? Like, you're just gonna say the same thing. You're like, yeah, I don't really care. That's his business. I'm here to play football, try and make the team. Like, I just think the impact on, say, the fringe guys, because they're still going to get asked about it. Every player probably is. Anybody that's in a scrum or in any interview is going to get asked about what they make of Rodgers' comments.
Of course.
And so I just don't think it's fair to them because maybe they're not as comfortable talking about that element of things and they want to keep that private, which is absolutely their right.
Mm-hmm.
And they are just there to play football. But it's a waste of their time. I think it's a waste of the people asking the questions time. But it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And it just takes away from those, like, if there's a guy that has a great preseason game or is really impressing during camp, and instead of talking about that, we're asking him what he makes of his quarterback mouthing off on ESPN. It's like, have we lost the plot a little bit?
Well, we had Nick Farbaugh on earlier from Penn Live. And he said that Aaron Rodgers once said to him that he should take the AirPods out of his ears because they'll give him cancer. That's all you need to know.
Before we move on, the text line's blowing up. So guilty. When I say Marcel Dion as Dion, Marcel Dion, Dion.
Yeah, like Funuff.
There is a family from Delburn whose last name is the same, but pronounced the, I guess, much more anglicized way.
Dion?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Or Dion. Dion is how I think I was saying
but
it, right?
It's spelled the same way?
It's spelled the same. And so, like, the text line's going crazy, losing it on me.
I
apologize. I'm not going to defend myself. That's just me growing up. When I see that, that's how I say it without thinking about it. Because there's a family, great woodworkers, Dion Woodworking around Delburn. There you go. There's the explanation. Nobody needs to continue to get upset at me over how I pronounced Marcel Dion's name.
Dion.
The AFC North, one of the most surprising divisions last season, with Pittsburgh winning it and getting into the playoffs, only to be dismantled by the much superior Houston Texans. However, this year, Baltimore back to the top of the table. They will win the group and be the only representative of the AFC North in the AFC playoff picture.
Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
They should. But I can't remember who was mad at me when I said, hey, could the Steelers win the AFC North easily? Was offended by that. They won it last year, but like Nick also said, a down year for Baltimore dealing with injuries. And maybe Lamar plays with a chip on his shoulder. He was ranked 69th by the NFL among the top 100 players, which is crazy. He's 2-time MVP. Yeah, okay. I'll go with Baltimore winning. Cincinnati, I know should be in the mix, and the Steelers are expected to be good as well. But yeah, I'll be in on this. I'm in on a lot of these ones. Count me in. Baltimore should win it.
Nick was surprisingly high on Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And the changes they made to defense. And Josh is our resident Bengals fan. If he is as optimistic, I'm not so sure. The problem with the Bengals is, and this is the same for almost any team, but the difference is that Joe Burrow has shown over his pretty short NFL career so far that he misses time, right? Like he
was not protected before.
I don't know
right?
if injury prone is the right thing to say, but yeah, he's getting banged around.
His O-line sucked
terribly, and it's not necessarily his fault, but they've been with like the elbow and then or in the knee, and there's just been different things that they essentially make him miss huge chunks, if not the entire season. And the Browns have shown without him, they can't even stay afloat, let alone remain competitive. So if he misses time, I don't like their chances. Once again, that could be said about any team. Number one QB is very important. But I'm maybe still a little bit more in wait and see mode about Cincinnati if they can improve on the other side of the ball enough to make it worth our while to consider them contenders for the division title. Lastly, this is a bit of an extended one, so stick with me. This is born out of a group chat that I am in. They wanted it taken to the airwaves, and this is just a good reminder. If anybody else ever wants to air something out, you can just send me an email, brandon@sports1440.ca. Maybe you've got a conflict that you want some kangaroo court public opinion weighed in on this show. I'm happy to do it. So let me just run this down as best I can. Brothers, Braden and Colton are on vacation at the family cabin out in Saskatchewan. Colton has to leave a day earlier than everyone else to come back to go to work.
Okay.
Rather than force his wife and two young kids, both 5 and under, to leave early as well, Braden lends Colton his car to drive back to AB. Braden rides with the wife and kids at the time everyone else is departing. Colton gets into Braden's car. It has a full tank of gas, drives back to Alberta, puts $75 of gas in it on the way home.
Yeah.
Follow me?
I'm following.
Then asks Braden to reimburse him the money for the gas since it's Braden's car and he would have had to fill it up anyway if he drove it back himself or not. Braden reluctantly paid him, but believes Colton is in the wrong for asking him. Now, the tipping point here for the actual question, are you in or out? Braden is right.
In.
He's correct.
In. He's doing Colton a favor. He's doing him a favor. Like, they're brothers, right?
Yes.
Still. Like, you're doing him a solid.
That's where I landed as well. So I see the logic in Colton's. Like, Colton's
Braden's
logic
right.
is correct.
Yeah.
The logic is correct where you say, whether I drive it back or you drove it back, you would have had to pay to put the gas in it, right?
Sure.
So that's sound. But it's more the principle to me.
Yeah.
Where, like I said, you're kind of doing him a bit of a favor. It's not a huge favor, but a favor. And as a result, is that worth the $75 worth of gas? And here's an extra detail. So on the way back, Braden drove half the way with Colton's wife and kids, like in his car.
Okay.
So like he took his turn behind the wheel. He wasn't just snoozing the whole 6-hour drive home.
Right.
He drove half the way. Now, he did not pay to put gas in that car. Colton's wife did. But I still think that...
No. You did him a solid. And then here's the other thing. It might not be $75 worth of gas, but at some point, I think Colton would be reimbursed or Braden would get him back in another way.
You have
know
to
what
think
I mean?
so, right? Like,
yeah.
these they're brothers, for one thing.
Yeah.
Golf together all the time, go out together, all this stuff. You have to think there's a spot where Braden would say, oh, hey, yeah, you filled my car with gas. Let me get the next round, something.
Here, let's go for lunch. It's on me today.
Right.
Something like that.
So it seems like the text line is all in agreement with us, and I'm looking forward to passing this along back to the two individuals because they wanted it aired out. They wanted public opinion.
Sorry, I'm with Braden on this one. That's bad juju on Colton's side.
I think so as well.
Yeah. Good in and out. or in or out. Brought to you by Harley Davidson of Edmonton. Benny, anything to add there? Connor's here now. Especially that last point.
Yeah. What the hell? Who the hell do you think you are? Listen, asking for reimbursement, whatever. Like, he did you a favor. You needed to go back for work. Like, he did your family a favor so they could stay an extra day at the cottage, the cabin, whatever. Everyone deserves a vacation. Like, yeah, man, you know what? You're my brother. I love you. Take my car. You just fill it up with gas, especially because he gave it to you with a full tank of gas.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't ask you to say.
And both these guys are like gainfully employed, and like, we know how expensive everything is. Colton's got 2 kids. Braden said that's why he's like, you've got a family feature. I'll pay you the $75. But he did it reluctantly.
He gave you the car with a full tank of gas. He didn't say, all right, well, give me $75 for the gas that I put in the car already.
He refilled it anyway.
Exactly. Like, I just don't get it. You can, like, how dare you?
Benny said it. That was In or Out, brought to you by Harley Davidson of Edmonton. Good stuff, Brando. Time for a sports update with Brandon, brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Here's Brando.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Blue Jays rubber match today down in Houston against the Astros. Matinee affair is 12:10. Mountain Time is the first pitch. Jameson Taillon set to make his debut as a Blue Jay on the hill. Hunter Brown countering for Houston. Elsewhere, Cubbies and Dodgers go at it from Wrigley. The Rays take on Rockies from Mile High. Orioles up against the Angels. Yankees wrap up their set against St. Louis. Red Sox hosting the White Sox. And in the nightcap, Mariners taking on the Tigers from the Pacific Northwest. Final game of the regular season for the Edmonton Riverhawks tonight in Bellingham against the Bells. First pitch coming 7:35 Mountain. And final day of preliminary action at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup in downtown Edmonton. Canada taking on Sweden for a 5 o'clock puck drop. Elsewhere, Slovakia up against Switzerland at 1. 3 o'clock sees Czechia playing Finland. And in the nightcap, United States against Germany. That underway at 7. Coming up in hour 4 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll hear today's edition of Cam and Eggs and be joined by Scott Wheeler from The Athletic. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Do you know why people love working at GS Construction? It's honest work. It's work that needs to be done. And we're really good at what we do. That's why GS Construction has been in business for over 50 years. We won't be wearing a top hat and tails, more like hard hat and boots, because we're heading underground to keep the water flowing in and out of your homes and businesses in Edmonton. GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and top men. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the pro press fitting to my copper pipe.
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
Turn up the volume for a night of rock classics with Jersey Boulevard, the tribute to Bon Jovi and Journey, live November 7th at Pure Casino Yellowhead's Pearl Showroom. Feel the energy of legendary hits like Living on a Prayer and Don't Stop Believing. Performed with powerhouse vocals and authentic stage presence. Tickets from just $32.50. Get yours now at Ticketmaster. Don't miss Jersey Boulevard, the tribute to Bon Jovi and Journey, November 7th at Pure Casino. Pure entertainment, pure action, and pure imagination.
Feeling overwhelmed by debt? Concerned about what the next few weeks or months will bring for your finances? My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. You don't have to navigate this alone. Together, we can review your options and build a personalized plan to reduce your payments and get you out of debt, so you can breathe again. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Final hour of the Tom Gazzola Show here on Sports 1440. It's been a pleasant Wednesday. Lots of great discussion in the text line. Not everybody agreeing. That's the beauty of discussion. Of course, the Gazzola Show brought to you by Bet365. Check out Bet365's early payout for baseball. When your team goes up by 5 runs, you get paid out immediately. No stress about blowing a big lead. Download the app and see what early payout's all about. Tom, Brandon, Josh, Connor in studio, rolling along nicely. A lot of people getting fired up about the Dione family.
It's once again, I'm
Delphi.
sorry. I know I'm wrong.
Delphi.
I'm not trying to defend myself. It's just a memory hold thing where when I see that, I say Dione because that's what I knew for most of my life. I know it's Marcel Dion. I'm not an idiot. It's just a mistake. And I'm sorry.
Sakura or Sakara?
There you go.
It's all good. But people are like, stop.
Well, yeah, like the one that was like, are you trolling us? Like, is this a bit? It's not a bit. I'm just an idiot. And that's okay. Sometimes. You don't really want to be an idiot all the time, but sometimes.
Sometimes you just get called an idiot all the time by certain people.
Yeah.
You can't win them
all.
You can't win them all.
In your chair and a chair that I sat in last week, Tom, you know that very well. Some people, it doesn't matter what you say. Text me like, you're an idiot. Thanks for listening.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate the interaction.
That's all you can say. You just move on. Going back to Colton and was it
Braden?
Braden, yeah. Steve says he's not his brother anymore.
Disowning him, disinheriting him. And Braden is the older brother too. I don't know if that's relevant or holds any matter in it, but
I think it doesn't. Like, I'm thinking it with my brothers. If that scenario played out, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll take your car. I'll make sure the gas tank's full, but then you're taking my car with my wife and kids. But I need you to give me money. No, it's the principle of it. I think most people agree.
Yeah. I I thought there might be a few more on Colton's side just for the logic standpoint, but it seems like we've got a lot of listeners that, see through that, read between the numbers, if you will. Context matters, situation matters, and the situation here tells me he's in the wrong for asking for the reimbursement.
Yeah, I stand by that. I have not differed from my original opinion from the last segment. And I honestly believe that at some point, naturally, Colton could just get Bryson back, or Bryson would get Colton back with something else. Like, I got your beers tonight. Oh, yeah. I paid for your round of golf. Like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, I know you did me a solid with the car. Instead of being like, nope, $75, please and thank you. I accept e-transfer. Unnecessary. But that's just me. All right, you said we have Cam and Eggs ready to rock?
Oh, yeah.
Cam
ready.
Tate, he's cooking. Let's go, Cam and Eggs.
So I'm at my desk yesterday, staring at my computer screen through a ketchup stain that's been there since May. At this point, it's not a stain, it's a pet. I've named it. We have a relationship. Anyway, past Kevin, the ketchup stain, an email lands. Media Relations, Rick Hansen Foundation. Rick wants to phone me this morning, personally. I see 10:30 and just about fall out of my chair. No talking points, no prep. I haven't even had my second coffee, and Rick Hansen does not run on decaf energy, folks. So I read it again, slower, like I'm diffusing a bomb. Turns out, it's not 10:30. It's 11:30. I read it a third time, out loud, alone, in my office, like a man confirming a hostage drop-off time. Honestly, no idea what he wants. But maybe, just maybe, he's finally paying that money back. 40 years later, turns out losing your mind gets things done. And this morning, that same man is picking up the phone to call me. I first met Rick Hansen back in 1979. I was covering wheelchair basketball, and Rick was playing for the Vancouver Cable Cars. Terry Fox was on that same team. That's the caliber of roster we're talking about. A few years later, I kept hearing rumblings through the grapevine. Rick's planning something big. He wants to wheel around the world. So in 1983, I'm at a tournament in San Jose, and Rick and I sit down for breakfast. He lays the whole thing out for me, start to finish. I interview him for an hour, tape recorder running the whole time. And when I finally clicked it off, I looked at him and said, and I mean this with all due respect, Rick, you're ficking crazy. I covered the Man in Motion World Tour when it rolled through this country, and I've never forgotten it. 6 days in Newfoundland, 5 in Thunder Bay, 6 weeks crossing Alberta, and 3 days in Vancouver when Rick finally came home. They had to shut down city roads for him. Thousands of people just lining the streets, waiting to welcome him back. I count myself lucky, truly lucky, that I was invited to Rick and Amanda's wedding. We've been friends a long, long time now, and that still means the world to me. So here's what I always tell people when they call Rick Hansen a hero. Don't forget the athlete underneath that word. This is a man who wheeled 50 miles a day, every single day, through heat, through rain, through snow. That kind of heart doesn't come along often. I'm really looking forward to talking to him this morning. Who knows? Maybe he's even inviting me to breakfast. One quick note before I go. I'm taking some time off. Cam and Eggs returns August 17th. That's Cam and Eggs right here on Sports 1440.
Great stuff there from Cam, the Man in Motion. Cam's buddies with a lot of famous people. He was talking about David Foster 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, when you were gone last week, he was in here the one day after I was chastising him, saying he's in here at 7:00 every morning when Tom's hosting. I'm in here for 2 days and he isn't seen.
Ouch.
Hurt my feelings a little bit. Then he's in there the next morning, naturally, for a one-day appearance. I think it was talking about Foster because he was planning on going out to Vancouver or to BC somewhere to go see him speak or something along those lines. But he couldn't find his passport. And
to go to Vancouver?
Well, so he's like, Cam, it was just a domestic flight. You don't need it. He's like, well, I don't have a driver's license. No spoiler alert. And we're like, okay, good point. I was like, what about your firearms license, Cam? So he was just sitting there and he just kept saying, I'm effing effed. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think he said he was planning on going down to Canada Place to see if there was something he could do to get something.
Fast track
something done in order for him to make that trip. And I don't know if that's where he is now or where he's going. Who knows?
But
either way, Cam, a little bit of time off here coming forward.
And well deserved. Good Cam and eggs. And listen, I didn't know the song St. Elmo's Fire, which has Man in Motion in parentheses, was inspired by Rick Hansen. I mean, it makes a ton of sense, obviously. That was also produced by David Foster, performed by John Parr. I knew the John Parr part, but it was number 1 in the U.S. in September of 85. I'll tell you what, boys, that was a glorious September of 1985.
Is that when you were born?
You better damn believe it.
All right, I'll write that down.
Thank you. Anyway,
don't want to miss your birthday coming up.
It's all good. My birthdays are irrelevant at this point for me. It's just another day. Good stuff there from Cam. Good edition of Cam and Eggs talking about Rick Hansen, the Man in Motion. By the way, this is awesome too. Not only the song, but something that benefits a lot of people and has over the years. The Rick Hansen Foundation, if you didn't know, it has generated more than $394 million to heighten awareness, change attitudes, and advance the quality of life for people with disabilities. That's the best part out of all that. Nicely done, Cam. And friends with Rick Hansen. Nicely done indeed on Cam and Eggs. All right, we're going to step out when we come back. A little hockey talk with Scott Wheeler from The Athletic. We'll talk about Hlinka Gretzky, and we'll talk about World Junior Showcase and other things going into the upcoming hockey season. It is the Gazzola Show on Sports 1440.
The family at Cougar Paint and Collision are growing, and clan member Cameron remembers his first time in the shop.
I hired myself at Cougar initially. Gordon was concerned about getting bike parts done and didn't really have enough help in the back. So I showed up and told Gordy I was fixing bike parts. He told me no, and I told him, yes, I am. I said, you can either tell me what you want me to do or I can just make it up myself. Just like to say that those bike parts that I hired myself to fix, I don't think I ever got paid for those, just so if you can make a note of that.
Cougar Paint and Collision, our family helping your family.
You want it? We got it. At Harley Davidson of Edmonton, we have a huge bike inventory just waiting for you to ride. We're not a car dealer. We're your local family bike shop. We are riders supporting riders. Come find your dream bike here at Harley Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980. Find us at hdedmonton.com.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
Not sure where to turn? Remember 211, the number to contact for mental health, addiction, and community supports. It's free, confidential, and available 24/7. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
Alberta, this one's for you. Around here, trust takes a few winters. It's why players have known Jackpot City since 1998. Home to hundreds of exciting casino games, live dealer action, and new adventures waiting to be discovered. Jackpot City, nothing beats the original. Please play responsibly, 18 years or older, Alberta only.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$10:25. You're listening to the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Thank you for doing so. Appreciate it very, very much. If you're watching over on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to our station, Sports 1440. We appreciate that very much as well. The hockey talk continues, and we're going to discuss some of the stuff going on with prospects, up-and-coming players that we anticipate seeing in the NHL in the next few years, with Scott Wheeler from The Athletic. And we've got the Hlinka Gretzky that's going on right now at Rogers Place, which is always a great event. An absolutely tremendous opportunity, Scott, for scouts to converge and watch some guys who will be available in the upcoming drafts. And I don't know if you've caught a lot of the Hlinka Gretzky, and I know you're doing the World Junior Showcase as well. But who are some names and guys that we should be paying attention to at the Hlinka Gretzky?
Yeah, I'm not in Edmonton this year for the tournament, just coming off of Windsor for the World Junior Summer Showcase here. So I've been watching it on TV like everybody else, which is a bit of a unique experience for me. I'm normally there. The Hlinka is a great event, though, and this is really the start of the prospect calendar for the 2027 NHL draft. The bulk of the first round in next year's draft is participating in the event. Obviously, the Canadians are led by Alexis Joseph and Landon Dupont, who are two of the top prospects in this draft class. Another one of the top prospects in this draft class was actually just at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup in Dima Zhilkin with Team Canada. It is a very, very strong Russian draft class. That is the talking point in this age group. And so obviously not having Russia a part of the Hlinka Gretzky Cup does mean that you're missing some of the premium talent in this 2009 age group. And it is hard to believe that we're talking about kids born in the year 2009 now, but that's where we're at. There's some 2010s participating, some high-end 2010s participating in this year's Hlinka Gretzky Cup, including Wyatt Cullen with Team USA. Wyatt is the very early front runner for first overall in the 2028 draft class. Two of the other top prospects in the 2028 draft class, Liam Pugh and Maddox Schultz, are obviously form two-thirds of Canada's top line at this event. So a lot of high-end talent. It has become, frankly, almost a bigger event for the underagers in some ways than it is for the sort of kids who are playing in it in their age group. Teams are increasingly bringing a lot of the premium guys who are a year younger. So you're really getting a look at the cream of the crop for two age groups. And obviously this one, the big name is that everybody's sort of zeroing in on is Landon Dupont, who will play at the University of Michigan this year for his draft year after leading the Everett Silvertips to a WHL title and the Memorial Cup final a year ago.
Okay, tell me about Dupont and living up to the hype, because I know even going into his time in Everett, everybody, especially around Alberta, was talking about Landon Dupont and what he was going to be. And how has he tracked in his time in the WHL heading into his NCAA foray?
Yeah, it's harder to get exceptional status as a defenseman. It's why he's the first exceptional status defenseman in the WHL. And it's a very, very short list of names across all 3 CHL leagues. The Hockey Canada program, they do their due diligence on a lot of these kids, but it's just harder. Just like it's harder as a young defenseman to play in the NHL, it's harder as a young defenseman to play at the sort of tip top of the WHL, and that's exactly what Landon has done over the course of the last 2 years. He was the first 15-year-old defenseman to, obviously because of the exceptional status, but the first 15-year-old defenseman to have 60 points in the league, the first 16-year-old defenseman to have 70 points in the league in decades, breaking a record that had previously been held of 69 points by Scott Niedermayer. He's been one of the best players in the league across every microstat, so every piece of tracking data that some of the scouting services that we use now and that NHL teams use now, he graded out in the WHL at the very, very top of that. And at the very, very top of that as a 16-year-old, he didn't turn 17 until midway through the Memorial Cup, so basically played the entirety of last year as a 16-year-old, was one of the best players in the WHL, one of the best young players in the CHL. And now he's going to go to Michigan, and he's going to be a big part of a team that has made regular appearances in recent years in the Frozen Four and hasn't been able to win a national title. And he's going to try to help them sort of get over that hump and win a natty. And that's if he does that, he'll be the first pick in June. It's that simple. I think he's going to play quite likely in Canada's top 6 at the World Juniors as an underager, as draft eligible, on a very deep blue line for Team Canada, frankly. There have been some sort of talk and questions about sort of, is he physically maxed out? He's a really, really thick kid at an early age. He's got the beard. He's sort of, there's some question as if to whether he's going to be more than the sort of 5'11" and a half listing that he has. Mm-hmm. So those are sort of minor questions, and we'll see over the course of this season whether he's in that sort of Matthew Schaefer, Rasmus Dahlin tier, whether he's sort of closer to the Owen Power, Aaron Ekblad tier. I think he's probably ultimately somewhere in the middle. But he's an excellent defender in all zones. He's not just an offensive type for being 5'11". He's got a great stick. He's physical. He's competitive. He takes great routes. He closes gaps. He's kind of the full package.
Scott, when it comes to the evolution or the shift in the NCAA major junior landscape, now that we're a year into this, what are some things you've been able to take away from the new era that we're in with this whole situation?
Well, it has completely recalibrated the pyramid for the NHL, right? For so long, the NHL has had this path laid out for its players, and that path now looks different. The CHL is still very much at the center of it pre-draft, but increasingly post-draft, there are different pulls for different players. We're going to see AHL eligibility rule changes here in this coming season that is going to allow more young players to play in the AHL. And it has just sort of shifted the timelines for a lot of kids. It has shifted the age demographics, particularly at the junior hockey level. The CHL is increasingly going to be the best place in the world for 16, 17, and some top 18-year-old players to play. Mm-hmm. And college hockey is increasingly going to get younger. You're going to see, in part because of the CHL rule change and in part because of the 5-year clock that has now been set for NCAA athletes, you're going to see the NCAA pull away from having a ton of 24 and 25-year-old kids on the best teams in the country. And increasingly, I think programs are going to try to win national titles around young players, which hasn't always been a successful sort of recipe in college hockey. You're going to see more and more first-round picks there. College hockey will still never be for everyone. I talk to agents all the time who say, look, some of my kids they're not interested in going to school. They don't have the grades. They're not students. That's not a part of their path. For other kids, it is. And for a lot of those kids, they're now making the choice to play college hockey at 18 or 19. And it produced, as far as last year goes, I think it produced mixed results. I think had a player like Keaton Verhoff, for example, played in the WHL and stayed with the Victoria Royals, he likely would have been an earlier pick. On the same breath, I think by Keaton having some struggles in college hockey and having some ups and downs in college hockey, we all got better data on him. We got a better sense for where he's at than we would have had he played junior hockey. So, and he frankly is probably further ahead than had he played junior hockey in terms of his development, knowing what he needs to work on, and learning from some of the mistakes he made and some of the challenges that he had, and maybe it taught him different things to focus on over the summer. There were kids who certainly had a tough time with it. That's always going to be true at the college hockey level. But I think by and large, this is a net positive for virtually everybody. The CHL gets the best players in the world, and more Americans and Europeans are now choosing the CHL. And certainly, ironically, out of all of this, the Canadian Hockey League has probably gotten a little less Canadian, and college hockey in the United States has obviously gotten more Canadian. So the demographics have shifted a little bit, ironically, that way. But I think more choice is better for the players, and the players should be at the heart of what everybody cares about. What matters should be the kids.
Yep. Scott Wheeler joining us from The Athletic. We're talking prospects. And speaking of that, how has this change affected talent assessment, in your opinion?
Well, we're getting better to the point on Verhoff. We're getting better information. If kids are playing in college hockey, we're getting better information on those kids than we would have had they played in junior hockey, because you're getting information at an earlier age against stiffer competition that's closer to what the NHL looks like. And I think on the flip side, you're more and more kids who are 16 and 17 are also going to be put in sort of top of the lineup positions on good teams in junior hockey, so you might actually be getting better data on them. There's probably a case to be made that the information you're getting on junior players last year was worse information than you've gotten in the past, because some of the leagues were a little weaker than they've typically been. The WHL in particular lost some pretty important players to college hockey. But all of that sort of balances out in the wash. Because teams aren't relying in the CHL on 20 and 19-year-old players quite as much as they used to, you're getting to see kids play high in the lineup and play in sort of important roles across the league, and that's valuable. You're seeing them on the power play instead of in third and fourth line roles on good teams. It's just changed. I don't know whether we have any sort of firm conclusions to draw one way or the other on whether it's good or bad, but I think by and large, the players having more choice can only be a positive, and the players and their agents and their families are going to learn over time what the best path looks like and where they should be at what age. And there's probably some guinea pigs who are going to sort of have their careers impacted maybe a little negatively early on because they don't know what the best play is. And I think those kids last year had the toughest decision to make because they were the first ones to make it. But increasingly, it's all going to sort itself out over time.
Scott, last week, I was working at hockey school, and there's a bunch of major junior people around there, some NHL people around there, and we were discussing the shifting landscape in the hockey world and junior and NCAA and all that, and eligibilities and where guys decide to go. And one thought was major junior, and those teams in major junior will start to tell potential players and prospects, come to us first before you want to go to NCAA. And they're just going to pitch it as, you want to play NCAA hockey? Come play in the OHL. Come play in the Q. Come play in the WHL. What would you say to that kind of belief that that's where it will eventually end up going?
Well, it's a fascinating conversation. There have kind of emerged two camps amongst general managers that I speak to across all three leagues. There is the camp of people who want to fight and sort of hold on to kids and prevent the NCAA from attracting their kids by putting up walls and by telling kids that if they come to them that they have to stay, and that they're making a commitment for 3 or 4 years, not just for 1 or 2 years, and that and then there's the camp of people who say, look, we're going to be the spot where you come for 2 years, and if you want to move on after that's fine. We'll find the next kid who wants to come for 2 years. And I think increasingly that second camp, the people who are treating their CHL organization as an opportunity for kids to come and then be elevated into the NCAA, I think those people are going to win the talent war, because agencies and the kids and their families want to go to places that are flexible and go to places that are promoting development and go to places that are okay with their kids taking that NCAA route. I think about the job that Kitchener is already doing, the job that Moncton has done. There are teams that are really, really leaning into A, attracting American kids, B, attracting the best Canadian kids and encouraging them to potentially consider the NCAA path. And if they stay, if they come and they love it so much and you're winning and you're attracting top talent and these kids are playing with top talent, some of them are going to choose to stay at 18 and 19 as well, right? So there are different approaches that some of these general managers and their coaching staffs are taking in recruiting. I think the teams that have a bit of a more of a revolving door, certainly it creates more turnover. You lose top kids maybe earlier than you were hoping to at times. Yeah. It creates more work for you in recruiting every single year, because you have to, instead of building a team for 4 years, you're very much building a team for 1 year and then restocking and then building the team for the next year and then restocking. It's a lot of work for those general managers to constantly be recruiting and finding new top kids that can come in and be a part of your program. But the teams that do that successfully are going to be loaded with talent, and it won't stay after it's been drafted, but before it gets drafted at 16 and 17, you might have the best young players in the league on your side, and there's value in that. There's ticket sales in that. It's a complicated game. Obviously, everybody wants to keep the first round drafted prospect, and there are ticket sales in keeping that player as well. But if you can sell that you're constantly bringing in the very best of the best, I think that's the most successful sales pitch for the CHL to be making right now.
Yeah, I look no further than our own backyard with the Oil Kings. I think they lost half the team to NCAA, and that's huge work that Michael Chan has to undertake in his first year as GM and president of the Edmonton Oil Kings. All right, Scott, last one for you as we look ahead to training camps, which are just over a month away. Crazy to say. And then the regular season in the NHL starting at the end of September now with the 84-game schedule. Who are some young prospects and players that might be able to crack NHL rosters this fall?
Well, I think from last year's draft, there are really just 4 kids that you zero in on. There are Gavin McKenna and Ivar Stenberg, obviously the first 2 picks. There is Viggo Bjork, who the Winnipeg Jets, it sounds like, are going to give a real opportunity to make their NHL team, and if not, will play in the AHL and likely go to the World Juniors for Team USA. And then there's Albert Smits, the lone defenseman, who I think has a real chance to play NHL games to start the year. Albert is obviously a 5th overall pick of the New York Rangers, played in the DEL last year and in Liga last year, so has a ton of experience both in Germany and in Finland, played at the Olympics, played at Men's Worlds. Those are kind of the 4 guys. I don't think there's a Ben Kindle in this group. I don't think there's a kid in this group from outside of the top 10 that I look at and think this kid's going to play 82 games in the NHL next year. And then you've got an interesting sort of rookie class coming out of college hockey and coming out of Europe, and kids who are going to challenge Gavin McKenna and Ivar Stenberg in the Calder race. And there's a laundry list of names that I could go through on that front. You've got kids who played in the league last year that are now trying to make a jump. Obviously, Ike Howard sort of fits into that group. You've got Harrison Brunick in Pittsburgh. There are just a lot of those sort of more late first, early second round pick types that are now trying to make the jump. It's the league is constantly sort of being constantly flush with those players, and I'm interested to see which of them can sort of take that step this year. If I were handicapping for the Calder Trophy, my money would probably be on either Cole Hudson or Ivar Stenberg. Those would probably be my 2 guys. I think Hudson's going to have an opportunity in Washington to be the PP1 QB there, and that you need that to find your way onto Calder ballots. And I think Stenberg is, if he plays with Macklin Celebrini, is going to be in the best position amongst the 2026s, and I include Gavin McKenna in that. I just think Stenberg's more ready for the NHL. So those would probably be my two guys that I would sort of classify, if you will, at this very early stage as kind of my two guys for the Calder that I'd be zeroing in on.
Scott, you did mention Ike Howard. Obviously, the spotlight will be on him after that trade last year, and him, having a pretty good year in the AHL, sometime obviously up here in Edmonton with the Oilers. How do you think he tracks this year?
Yeah, Ike's just such an interesting kid and player. He's sort of been a source of conversation for me for a few years now. I got to know him when he was at the program, did a feature on him at the program. I've spoken to a ton of people around him over the years about him and what he's all about. And he's also just a unique profile, and a profile that doesn't always translate in the sort of average skating 5'10", 5'11" scoring winger, right? Like that kind of player is typically a top six or bust type. It's typically harder for them to stick in a bottom six role, even as teams shift more towards sort of top nines and then a fourth line rather than top six, bottom six. It has still been tricky for those players to succeed unless you're the Logan Stankoven or the Zach Benson, who just has that sort of dogged work ethic that allows you to drive play, not just offensively, but defensively when the offense isn't clicking. And Ike's never been that player. He's never going to be a driver or even maybe a particularly net positive player off the puck or defensively. And so he has to produce. And there was kind of that interesting early debate last year, I think, between him and Matt Savoy. I think Savoy's skating is the distinguishing factor between the two players clearly there, and just the work ethic in general that Savoy offers, even when the points aren't falling. And now Ike has to prove that he can do what Savoy did last year, and that's sort of establish yourself and be more than just a tweener. I think it's clear that he's a tweener at minimum. Like, he's a quadruple A AHL point per game first line AHL player, and that those players are still of value to an organization, even if they're only playing 10 or 20 games in the NHL every year. But you don't trade Sam O'Reilly, who now looks like he's going to be a third line middle six center in the league for a long time with the Tampa Bay Lightning. You don't trade that player for a quadruple A type. So they need Ike to become a top 9 complimentary 20 goals a year scorer. He doesn't need to be a star, but he needs to be a regular contributor who gives them some secondary scoring. And this year will be probably the biggest litmus test of that in his career. This year feels not like it's maybe make or break, but it's inching closer to that.
The pressure is definitely going to be on him. We'll see how he handles it. Scott, excellent information. Really appreciate it. We'll catch up again soon, okay?
Cheers.
All right, there's Scott Wheeler from The Athletic. Great stuff there. Some prospects, the shifting landscape as it continues to settle when it comes to Major Junior and the NCAA, and then some guys to keep an eye on heading into this upcoming hockey season. There was a text that came in. I want to hit on it really quickly. Came in from Bill. He says, where are they advertising the Hlinka Gretzky Cup? I only listened to 1440 after Oilers season's over. No clue that it was here in Edmonton until Spec today. Even the TV guide doesn't mention Edmonton. I know more about the LPGA event in Edmonton that it's hosting later this month. Well, yeah, the Hlinka Gretzky is here every second year, I believe. They signed a long-term deal with the IIHF. Happens at Rogers Place, obviously. Hockey Canada heavily involved in that. I think Bob Nicholson was a big part of that deal. And we're getting into the end of the preliminary round, and Canada's been lighting it up. So you can check it out. Like Brandon said earlier, $25 gets you in the door, and Canada takes on, is it Sweden today, Brando? Sweden today at 5:00 if you want to go down to Rogers Place and see some summer hockey and the next wave of NHL stars. Indeed. Billy, thank you for that text. Really appreciate it. All right. When we come back, we'll wrap things up on what has been a pleasant Wednesday edition of the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365 right here on Sports 1440.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, winning isn't everything. Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
Must be 18 or older. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. T's and C's apply.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, A quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
At GS Construction, we won't quit until we find a way to get the job done. And the right person makes all the difference. We're looking for our next superintendent, an experienced leader ready to take on the role. Because while GS Construction is building the water, sewage, and drainage systems Edmonton communities rely on, the superintendent is building up the team. If you know how to keep a job site safe, productive, and moving, we want to hear from you. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairies Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior camps. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
It's finally time to escape your 4 walls and see where your 4 wheels can take you. Sherwood Honda helps you head out on the road the way you want to, with the right vehicle, including freedom-seeking SUVs that give you the versatility to drive where, when, and how you want to. It sure would do some good to get out and stretch your horizons, and sure would be easier with Sherwood Honda.
Caesars is Alberta's anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Stay in the action with your favorite teams and players. Whether you're camping, kayaking, or catching a show this summer, bet wherever you are, whenever you want. Plus, Caesars Sportsbook offers fast payouts and flex parlays, a new way to keep your bet alive even if a pick misses. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today.
Must be 18 or older and physically present in Alberta to gamble. Must be 21 or older to use Caesars Sportsbook. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. Please play responsibly.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Fun show. It's been a very fun show. Tom, Brandon, Fenny, and Connor with you. I can't repeat what I just heard, but big thank you to everybody who tuned in today, whether it was on the dial, whether it was on iHeart TuneIn, whether you watched on YouTube, maybe you watched on X, Twitch, Instagram, all the platforms. Thank you so much. Or are you catching it as a podcast later in the day? Appreciate it. Lots of great information, lots of great guests as always. That will continue tomorrow. Schlemmer, get well soon. We want you to get well. Dave Schlemko under the weather today, and hopefully he's good to go for next week. Boys, some final thoughts. I know we only have a few minutes here, but like you got
my final thoughts.
Yeah,
Spider-Man, good movie.
Good movie.
Not a great movie. Good movie.
Benny?
That's my takeaway from the entire show today.
Did Connor see it?
You see the new Spider-Man?
We
Connor?
already went and saw it yesterday.
All 3 of us saw it yesterday at different places and times.
Correct.
We didn't want a little afternoon show outing. We're not there yet as a group.
Well, in reality, like I did work longer than you, but I know Tom went even after me. Like, what time did you go to see the movie?
I went at 1.
No, never mind.
Yeah.
I thought you went at like 4 something, whatever.
No.
So no, yeah, no.
I went to Commonwealth and then quick pop in at Elks practice, then straight to. I didn't get to go to I think this theater is pretty nice up here, right? It's half decent.
It's nice enough.
Nice enough. I go to Landmark City Center because it's literally right across the street from my building.
As a proud Cine Club member, I just have to say this: screw Landmark. That place is a dump. Cineplex rules.
I honestly don't even know or care because the Nolan movie, like the Odyssey, I'm like, hey, it's made in a 70 mil IMAX. I'll go see it in 70 mil IMAX.
Yes.
And you go through the arduous process of that. But otherwise, I will literally go to the simple, like, I don't need AVX. I don't need Dolby. I don't need D-Box or whatever, all that stuff. My selection on the Cineplex page is the bottom one where it's just movie. And that's fine by me. So the seats or whatever, I don't really care. They're comfortable enough. They kind of recline back a little bit, which I'm not sure I actually love because then I feel like I'm looking up too much. And I gotta like cock my neck back down ever so slightly. I don't know.
I don't have a problem with the whole leaning back thing. My chair yesterday, though, squeaky as all hell.
No.
So I was like, all right.
So you were that guy.
I was literally like, I have to find a position and I have to stay in it. And then like
positions.
And sucked. Like as soon as I put down the bag of popcorn, I was like, well, I guess I'm not eating that the rest of the movie.
Oh no.
Yeah, but like I'll be on vacation soon.
You're flying.
You're gone. Penny's out the rest of the week.
You get
he leaves today.
Donnie P. All right. One guy comes back from holiday, another guy goes on holiday.
That's pretty much how this entire month, even back in July, has largely been around this place.
It's summer, man. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Summertime.
Got to get out.
We got to take our time off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Rest,
especially Josh, who never
reset.
takes any time off because he's such a hard worker.
Just such a workaholic.
He digs in.
He's a digger.
I saw it in 3D, and I didn't know I had purchased a ticket for 3D, and I went.
Do you still wear the glasses?
That's with the glasses. They didn't give them to me, so
bring your own.
The movie turns on, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on?"
They have the little basket right outside.
No, they
wait,
didn't. They didn't. It's Landmark. I had to go to the front, get my glasses, and then it was a great experience after that. Huge thank you to everybody who tuned in. I'll end it with Dr. Dick Richard. Says, hey, gents, great show as always. Kicking ass. Thank you very much, Dr. Dick Richard. Appreciate it. We have a lot of fun on this show, and hopefully you do too. That's going to do it for a Wednesday edition of the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. One last Sports 1440 update with Brando, brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton. Community specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunication, and street lighting. That is All-Star Construction. Have a great day, everyone. Here's Bren.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays wrapping up their set in Houston with a rubber match against the Astros. First pitch for the matinee affair, 12-10 mounted. It'll be Jameson Taillon making his Blue Jays debut on the hill. Hunter Brown countering for the Astros. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. knocking him in the lineup, and he is dealing with some tightness, according to manager John Schneider. Cubbies hosting the Dodgers at Wrigley. Angels up against the Orioles. White Sox and Red Sox face off from Fenway. Yankees up against the Cardinals. And in the nightcap, Tigers in Seattle to take on the Mariners. WCL action, final game of the regular season for the Edmonton Riverhawks. They're in Bellingham. Rubber match against the Bells. First pitch, 7:35 Mountain. And Hlinka Gretzky Cup action continuing from downtown Edmonton, Canada. Final preliminary round game against Sweden, 5 o'clock puck drop. Elsewhere, Switzerland against Slovakia at 1, Czechia playing Finland at 3, and Germany facing the United States in the 7 o'clock nightcap. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is The Frenzy with Hallie and Douglas. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.